crazy to think that Shopify Rebellion were effectively 1 round away from not going down to lower bracket. 1 round away from taking down Falcons. I mean, the story there is so great, but because they lose that 1 round, now they're facing NIP for elimination. Such a different storyline.
Doesn't get any easier. Later today, whoever wins this will have to face Space Station, also in the lower bracket. NIP have had an absolutely shocking tournament so far. Very slow start, gradually building up, but losses to Weibo and Mady, Heretics, they only barely scraped across the line out of groups because of a 2-1 win over the now eliminated Furex roster. But NIP coming in cold today, haven't had a chance to play in the playoffs yet, of course, whereas the flip side is Shopify Rebellion. Yesterday, they had an admirable showing against Falcons 2-1, despite losing it, as we saw the breakdown from Laxing, 8-7 on the final map. As you said, 1 round away from continuing in the upper bracket. Now the pressure really does sit on both of these teams' shoulders, but my question is, will NIP come in hot after having quite a few days off after the group stage?
Bomb located by attackers.
You know, and starting things off here, Shopify Rebellion on defensive side of Cafe. NIP, you know, it really is just going to be such a difficult task for them. That veto favors Shopify Rebellion. NIP starts on a defender-sided map on the attacking side. It's just not going to be easy. So many things up against them. Operator bench though, NIP, they start things off in a very safe position, right? Asami may move from action, gonna make that first step of clearing Piano, for example, a lot easier. Whereas Shopify Rebellion, they deal with the power-ups, the Grim and the Ying. And the more we see of SI so far, I feel like we are in what we qualify as the power-ups meta. It really comes down to both playing and or banning very specific attack and operators to leverage what strong operators you have to break the bomb site apart. We talk about the shields, we talk about stuff like the Grim and the Ying, we talk about information like the Dokkaebi.
And we don't have any of those obviously power-ups in this round. No. Shields brought to the table by NIP, and as you said...
Is Thatcher a power-up by today's
Thatcher?
No. Okay, the rounds where Thatcher is broad. Oh my god, that large drone is scary.
Yeah. Oh, his ADS has survived though, so despite losing the shield, he's got his castle barricade and his ADS, so I'd actually call that a win for Rexon.
So I was gonna say, like, the rounds where we do see Thatcher being broad, he's instrumental, right? He denies C4 or a smoke for a plant, etc. So low-key power operator, although not broad all that often. EMP ticks, or sorry, the second flourish drone deals with 2 of the ADSs. Another nade goes out for the castle barricade, but doesn't pop the wall. This is just, oh boy.
And Rexon is loving it here in Cigar Shop. How much longer can he hold it?
This nade has to hit the castle. Come on, boys.
Very hard to destroy castle barricades with grenades, but finally Rexon's cover is blown. And now Wizard looks to make an entry straight into the Thorn Trap. He is slowed, but he will find the kill regardless. An opening for NIP. Straight on the back of it, the Lion will roar and lock Rebellion in place.
You know what you're thinking? Why did Shopify Rebellion not help Rexon in Cigar Shop? Well, he's in a very deep position himself. He had the utility, the castle barricades, the ADSs, and they burned so many flourish drones, right? 3 of them. They burned 3 frag grenades and a flashbang only to clear him out. On paper, this is actually a really good death for Shopify Rebellion, because that means for the rest of this round, many less tools available here for NIP's attack.
And another E1D rings out. That's the last remaining for Pino. I can't believe it's been 5 years since the last Paris 6 Invitational during COVID, and Pino won that. Now he looks to try and fight for another one, but NIP need to level up. Their current form has not been enough. 35 seconds remain. Good luck. They still have so much work to do.
Yeah, got the shield that's at a 90. Got the bathroom player as well. Fantasy dancing with death here by 90 corner.
Good crossfire though, Fantasy sneaks in, but a good trade from Surf. However, NIP come to life. Jumping down the skylight at the last moment, and a flood through Piano nets them the round.
A beautiful 5v1 to start off the round for NIP. It's one of those cases where, yes, it was hard to clear Rexon's position, but once they got that done, that was, on paper, the most difficult obstacle for them, because they're so good when it comes to entry frag, just walking in through Piano and taking the fights, simplifying the round. And nobody from Shopify could really help Rexon. They had a player on Skylight, player on New Hatch, player on Piano Rappel, the Lion. So no matter if anyone tried to help Rexon, they would just die in the process. They had to sacrifice him, but then they had to win their gunfights here in 90 Bathroom, which they also did not.
It's a dangerous thing about playing a setup like that if you're Shopify Rebellion. They're just holding their crossfires. A player in bathroom, a player tucked in freezer, that was Spoit, and a player in cocktail.
Yeah.
Because of the way Rebellion had opened up all the walls, there's like 10 crossfires going on.
Yeah.
But you need to actually hold your crossfires. You need to play off together. And when NIP are pushing from 5 different positions, those players were distracted. A critical
10
moment for
seconds
me
remaining.
was Spoit not actually being in freezer, but swinging out into backstall
5
to try and
seconds
help
left
one of his
before
teammates. It meant that he died without actually maintaining a crossfire. At the
Attackers are
same time,
heading out
Canadian
to
in
the bomb.
bathroom got injured. Again, swinging a little bit too aggressively. It's a hard call because you do need to swing. You can't just wait for the opponents to get Pika's advantage swinging you.
I kind of think that might have been what happened though for Shopify, right? They maybe waited a little bit longer before they were going to take their power positions because they didn't expect the push to come out so quickly. It took NIP almost 2 full minutes to clear out Rexen. It took them 20 seconds to full take Piano. I think they were just kind of surprised by the pacing of NIP because they were so damn slow earlier. And also NIP team ace, by the way. Every single member got on the board and got a kill. Whereas for Shopify Rebellion, well, 2 of their 5 people picked up something. Ambi and Surf, the 2 best statistical players for SI so far for their team.
Yeah, not across the whole tournament
Just for
so
the-
far, but yes, they have stepped up for sure. NIP, on the other hand, look to try and make an entry here, taking Bakery. We need Canadian to rotate over. Nitrocell burnt without really any damage to speak of. Oh, Fantasy is
Spoit's in
in
trouble.
with the Glaz. He's about to find Spoit, sees him from the back,
Oh,
but Surf through the smoke saves his teammate's life, and Spoit lives to fight another day. This is desperate now from Cons. He tries to get aggressive on the Blackbeard, but Spoit will find him and shut him down. A solid Bakery hold. Despite the Glaz, despite the Blackbeard, despite the power, it doesn't seem to be enough for NIP, and Spoit has found a second. Wizard in a 1v3, but he's been spotted by Canadian. And Spoit can continue to hold his position at the cupcake stand. Wizard will look to try and shut him down, but Rexon's got the crossfire. Phenomenal round from Spoit in his position, and from the rest of Shopify Rebellion to support him.
It's so important for the entire team of Shopify Rebellion that Spoit does not peek anything and just stays prone and lets Rexon and Surf work around him. And he did a perfect job at that. The only time Spoit goes for a wide swing is to guarantee kill the Blackbeard, look in the wrong direction. But the real hero there, before that can even happen, is Surf smoke banging the glass as he's about to clear Spoit's position.
That's a gnarly play.
Through the smoke. You see right here. Takes 1 shot.
So aggressive. Like, it's so risky as well, because Surf is thinking you're peeking into a smoke. You know the Glaz is in there somewhere. He could be watching me. If he is, I'm a dead man. But that was such a perfect moment. After the first round was lost by Rebellion not quite maintaining their crossfires, that gives me so much confidence that they can do so.
And I also think we've now seen 2 for 2 rounds where NIP, their entering is good, their confidence is great, but their utility clearing and utility usage is actually really poor. The first round, it took them 2 Flourish drones and 3 frag grenades to clear 1 deployable shield and 1 castle barricade. And then that
Bomb
previous round,
located by
both the
attackers. 5
nades
seconds
from the
left.
Blackbeard, they were soaked up by the Wamai magnets, so he got 0 value. One of the smoke grenades from the glass also soaked up by the Wamai magnet. So they're losing more than half their, most important utility from their pockets every single round to either a Wamai or just simply missing the area. So I want to see NIP here work in the areas where they're a little bit weaker when it comes to clearing utility, because their shots are great, their timings are good. But if you're fighting, against Spoit, against Rexon, against Surf, when they have all these utility pieces around them, that's not going to be a fair fight.
The last time NIP played Cafe was just a few days ago in the group stage against Heretics, and they got 7-1'd. Rebellion on the flip side, they beat Black Dragons on this map. So you can see why Shopify Rebellion have decided to take us here. NIP chose the second map, Border. Very different beast. NIP though, I think we've already seen a little bit from them that makes me think this is not going to be quite like the 7-1 shellacking that Heretics served to them. They can fight here.
See Ambi getting that license to go loose. Same for Canadian. They love bringing out this Solace and Pulse combination, just playing around the map for intel, verticality. NIP has slowed things down again. Just looking for Canadian spots at a train. Is he vulnerable? Can they jump in? Nate gets tossed down. The thing is, this is the bomb site, so jumping in should not be possible. Ambi a lot of fire.
Yeah, and Fantasy takes him down.
Oh,
Rexon jumps straight outside the white window. This is very deadly, but if he closes the
C4?
gap, if he uses a C4, he might be able to win the fight. On the other side, Pino is low HP. The shotgun should win at this range. But Rexon is still remaining detected. He has to keep swinging. What? And he wins the fight. A second one for Rexon outside. And Cons is left all alone. Rexon's having a laugh in the old chat, and while Ambi has fallen, he's perfectly happy to watch Rexon do away with the rest of this NIP attack.
Dude, Ambi had the prime seat for that entire thing to play out. He was dead first, just watching Rexon toying with his food. Another magnet catches the grenade, Black in trouble, but somehow makes the trick work. Looks up ADSs, aims down, takes down Surf. The grenade actually gets the final confirmation. It's a 1v3 now. Up against the pulse scanner, the reinforced wall, and what should be a solid crossfire.
Canadian and Rexon both have shotguns, which could essentially one-hit Cons here in the feet if the Blackbit isn't crouching. So Cons has to play this perfectly. He'll look to take the risky gunfight as well, but the fire extinguisher will give him an opening to go and focus up on the dining room. Rexon's on the other side in fireplace. Cons is just looking for this fight. He wants to peek it. Oh, laying on the bomb.
Good read.
It's an awkward spot, but it is into a crossfire as well. Spoit is in train, watching the angle. Great first shot, but Spoit will refrag. A little bit too close for comfort there for Shopify Rebellion, but they can thank Rexon for giving that round to them on a silver platter.
I mean, Rexon is disgusting. He jumps out, one-taps the first player right before weapon swapping onto the shotgun. I'm thinking, nah, he's good for one, but not two, surely. He doesn't even take damage, James. He was full HP after getting those 2 kills. That wins them the round. And window jump outs, ever since Siege X came out, remember, you're forced into a hip-fire animation. Like, you literally don't have a fighting chance, and yet he gets both.
So risky now to go for those jump outs. Oh, Castle.
Ooh, IQ ban.
The Castle makes sense. This is normal.
Here comes the Valkyrie.
Banning Castle and Azami is pretty normal. You get rid of 3 architects by getting rid of the mirror as well. But that IQ is so unusual. Like, you mentioned Valkyrie.
Yeah, so Valkyrie, Kaid, Echo, Pulse, and Solace all get amplified like crazy from that IQ ban. Even Vigil, arguably, but you don't often use IQ as a counter there.
One of the things about Cafe is the IQ can stand on the roof and just scan absolutely everything. Every piece of utility. You can see if they've got ADSs at Pixel. You can see if they got my magnets, like you said, about the info gathering ops. So that IQ ban is really going to give Shopify Rebellion a chance to lean into that.
I think the biggest kind of substitute operator here is going to be Twitch. IQ can find out where things are, but can't clear them. Twitch can spend some extra time droning, and then if you do find those cameras, clear them.
The other option, perhaps, particularly against your Valkyrie Echo Maestro, is the
Thatcher.
I was going to say the Dockerbee.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
But you do have to find a kill and hack the cams, which is a lot easier said than done.
I think that the issue here is just the map. If you're playing Chalet or Border, getting that early pick on the extended roam and then hacking the cameras, pretty doable. On Cafe, unless you're gonna find Ambi or Troy solo roaming on those kind of roam-style operators, it's gonna be 5 people around the bomb site or extended or near the bomb site together. But, of course, you can make the phone call and you have like 10 seconds opening for a big play. They bring out the floors instead. Also, Brazil is a region. They actually love playing both Sentry and Striker more than most other regions. We see Wizard here bring out the exact operator. Flashbangs and nades in pocket. I think that's a good choice, right? They've been struggling with the 1-mine magnets. Now you have Burn in the flashbangs and grenades for clearing. So Wizard himself can actually do a lot of damage. Only issue is for this one, there is no 1-mine.
Yeah, and no Jaeger either, which actually, in a way, is going to lend itself to Wizard having a lot more ability. Cons is in the building looking for something. Fantasy has actually snuck into the objective.
Classic Fantasy.
He's inside reading room. How does he keep doing this? And now Cons is in there as well. He's vulnerable to these vertical holes, and he gets spotted by Rexon for a brief moment.
They gotta wait for the next call.
L player going and dropping down, looking for the kill, and he finds him. Good info from Spoit. He looks to try and retake it solo, but it is a bloodbath. Spoit is now the last one standing, and they'll have to do the heavy lifting here for Shopify Rebellion. Does he retake upstairs into the waiting arms of NIP? 2 players coming his direction. Nitro Cell could be good, and it takes down Pino. Hates is now following him, but he doesn't want to overextend. A shield operator on a staircase is a very dangerous thing.
It's winnable. Mind you, planning a 2v1 on this bomb site, almost impossible, right? And Sport has so much experience fighting Blackbeard and Shield, so I think it's completely winnable for him if his teammates on those Valcams gives accurate and good information. camera top floor on cocktail. He knows if the vert is clear or not, and he knows where BB is off the sound cues.
And there's no info here for NIP. Risky play. 1v1 against the Blackbeard. Spoit is cold. And he clutches for Rebellion.
It's the call. That's the king right there.
It's the call. There it is. He knows he has to play around the strength of the opponent. That's the Blackbeard. And Blackbeard can't just go for an ADS swing in a gunfight because you see it, he gets shut down. NIP down 1-3, we'll call it tactical timeout.
Sai. Agora foi. Ó, olha só. Pro bombe do bar, o que eu quero que a gente faça? Vamos jogar pro Open Kill, seja Coca ali, seja KDS, mas a gente entrando full embaixo, tá ligado? Vamos jogar perdidão. Deu certo esse round 2 vezes já, tá ligado?
4-1, mais ou menos?
É, tipo isso, com o Hates lá entrando embaixo de Doka, tá ligado?
Tá.
Então a gente joga pra essas Open Kill nisso. Seja KDS ali, tá, guys? Aí, ô Fantinha, se a gente for pegar aqui o Claraboy e a KDS, deixa que o Hates faz a sua lá subindo nova, tá bom? Pra matar o cara da Claraboy e o KDS. É, bombe da cozinha, eu quero que a gente faça, mano. Vamos baitar que a gente vai caçar, quer dizer, que a gente vai fazer horizontal, abrindo o Neymar primeiro. Beleza. A gente smoca ali, abre de ace e depois a gente joga pra caçada. É, exato. Vamos jogar de Doka, tá ligado? Também. Pra fazer eles se movimentarem, entendeu?
So if we rewind to that previous round, it started off so well for NIP, right? They're in the bomb side, they get a pick, etc.
Down the gap.
Exactly, and then you might be thinking, why didn't they do anything else? They were waiting for the final Doki call to recharge to then darken the map with those Valkyrie cameras and then go for a plant. So they're sitting still. But in that moment, this is where we gotta praise Shopify Rebellion. They went for a 4-man retake, fighting back, recognizing, guys, when the Doki call comes up, we are screwed.
Yeah. And it was very hard spectating, I can't remember which player it was on the Flores looking for the plant. It was Cons. He was just looking for an opportunity to plant inside of reading. There's holes above default. There's holes above laundry. There's an open wall into pillars. He had literally nowhere safe to plant.
That's it, and that's kind of where Shopify also played really well. They probably were very happy to surrender a lot of that bomb site because they had good vert, they had good information. They knew that the bomb site itself is actually pretty weak to try and plant in. So NIP, good gap finding, but perhaps the wrong read, combined with Shopify actually playing for the retake very successfully. Another magnet that we get, you know, catches a grenade. We've seen this so many times this game where these grenades, it's almost like we don't value them if we're NIP. Oh, we got a nade. We only got 2 this round. Let me just chalk it in. Oh, they have a Y again? Ah, too bad. Yeah, now you have 1 nade spare.
You have so many flashes, even smokes from Hates that you could be using. Speaking of smokes, Fantasy is going to get a breach on that small back wall thanks to Hates' smoke grenade covering it. I'm not sure if it got breached though.
Don't think it did. Given that Sport just peeked
it.
it.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
It must have been. Was there an impact? No,
Nope,
there was no
just
impact.
shot it.
Just shot through the smoke.
Again, expensive utility to try again. Another smoke, another Selma. He shot it again.
How?
I think, dude, Surf is literally one of the best support players this entire run so far. The tech I've seen with bulletproof yellow ping. That's still good, but Surf still plays it well.
Smart.
He's covering his teammates so well, round after round. He's got the take with the smoke, the Bieber C4 play. He's literally doing so many big brain plays. And calling with the bulletproof camera, they're saying, guys, just ping me where the Selma is. I can go for a smoke bang. Again, great tech.
The hitbox on the Selma is really small.
It is
very
small.
hard to shoot. Pinging it with the bulletproof camera that can see through the smoke, I've never seen that tech before.
Funny thing is, I didn't see the yellow ping, so I was like, this guy's a wizard. You know, he's just finding the angle.
No, Wizard plays for NIP.
Oh, does he, huh?
Ambi spotted 3 players up in pillar on this Valkyrie camera. He can
be a
spot
retake.
tracks. Yeah, I mean, there's a ability for a retake here.
Yeah.
Surf will
Shoot
shoot
the
at least
gridlock.
clear the track stingers for now,
Yep.
knowing that there's no one watching him.
And now it's open. The question is, right, 1 minute 10 seconds, 5v5. Do you actually want to go for a flank? And if you do, who do you send? Everyone has valuable utility in pocket unless Ambi can spend the C4 first, then sprint up a staircase. But that C4 could be plant denial. So I'm curious who you would send, if anybody. Sport has bakery control. There's the flank.
It's Ambi.
Ambi's up there. C4 in pocket. Does not care.
He's found one. Now he's in an awkward spot.
Gonna
He's
die,
trapped in the
that's fine.
corner. He will die eventually, but he has yellow pings, and so he'll continue fighting. A second kill for Ambi. NIP have to go deep. He finds 3 before he's traded back. Pino 1v4. Good luck. You might have raised a hammer here 5 years ago, but I don't think he's going to raise a round. Rebellion have now thwarted the tactical timeout from NIP, and the clash will lie in wait. Canadian knows that he doesn't have to do anything but sit behind this shield and laugh. 13 seconds. Pino isn't going to do a damn thing. He can jump over. He can go into a crossfire. Rebellion will just keep hunting him. And Canadian puts the nail in the coffin.
And they're calm. Wasn't the clutch? Well, actually, I would say it was an ambit clutch in that 3 kills in a 1v3. He stuck in the corner. But again, thanks to the Valkyrie camera information, they have the intel. And it's such a good mind game to play here. Shopify Rebellion can win so many rounds of simply banning one operator and tailoring the defensive side to that ban. And NIP are not recognizing just how strong the Valkyrie is. I don't even think they spent any extra time looking for the Valkyrie cameras. It was in pillar, in a quote-unquote normal location, not even hidden off, because it needed that bunch of information. It needed a good view.
They even brought the Twitch that round, which you said was one of the main counters to the Valkyrie.
If you find them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the Twitch was even targeting Valkyrie cameras at all. I assume it was looking for the FNAT mines and looking for the Wamai magnets.
So here's my thing, right? You can substitute the IQ with a Thatcher. You can't see what the utility is, but you do have the scanner and it will show at dots.
Yeah.
You could literally play Thatcher, take out that good old EMP launcher, and just look at the walls and be like, where's the Valcam? If you wanted to.
Double as the Twitch. If you want to go for a bakery take, you can,
ADS
you can get rid of ADSs and Wamai magnets.
You're right.
I actually think that could have been the perfect storm here. Cons is teasing it out for now. We'll see. Oh no, he has stuck it rather. We're into action phase already. So I think finally we see NIP making that adaptation, but it is perhaps
it's too late.
A little too late. I mean, Rebellion have extended their lead 4-1. Ambi, the birthday boy, 20 years old today. I mean, for the longest time, he was the youngest player at these events. Now he's not even a teenager anymore.
Time flies.
Time does fly. It would be nice for him to stay in the tournament.
He wants to go flying, James, but they need the right timing on this rappel angle for it to work.
Well, he's got support from Canadian on the pulse scanner, but he's just, fallen back.
Heartbeat sensor activated.
A lot of info gathering here between Canadian and Ambi, and the anti-rush from Surf, the Malusi. I think that's a great play compared, just knowing how Fantasy attacked this bomb site last time.
Yeah, when this call comes out, you have to be ready for a play somewhere. There it is. Call pop, the door open. If anybody's sprinting up a staircase, perhaps, Shopify Rebellion should be ready for something like this.
What info's he got? And
where are the sound cues?
Where are the Banshees?
There it is.
Now his position revealed. Oh, he's going to get flanked. There's 2 players at the bottom of White Stairs.
Yeah, Rexon made the call that he did not walk up the brown stairs as he's inside of pillars, so they know he's down there somewhere. But going hunting for him, very challenging. Canadian on the scanner is looking for him, and if he finds him, they would send down 3 people, but they can't find him, so they can't make that play.
This is very smart. Rebellion are looking for a gap, but because they're not finding that information, they're not overextending too much. Fantasy is now literally just playing to anti-flank. Oh my god, Canadian's still hunting him! They know exactly where he is at Whiskey Bar, but now Fantasy will have the advantage with the info. Does Fantasy hear Canadian's call? Apparently not, so he's going to continue falling back. 3 players hunting down Fantasy, and I think he knows it.
Yeah. I mean, Fantasy's played it well, but that's both Dukkha calls, and he cannot help his team, but he's got 2 players stuck below for now. 3 people, actually. They really want him. They're coming for him.
He might find Spoit here. Spoit
he got him with the
down by the destruction of the gas pipe?
Yeah.
Wow. That somehow managed to damage Spoit. Risky play for Fantasy. Going past the gas pipe, Canadian will trade him and get Spoit back on his feet.
And they haven't rushed the bomb site. They knew 3 people were downstairs chasing Fantasy, yet they're still doing vertical setup, holding the flank of the light staircase, looking down the hatch. That was your moment to go, if anything. But then again, Canadian has the foreign pocket, as does Spoit. They can actually destroy these plant positions virtually now because they have kitchen control. So Fantasy spent the whole round getting nothing done. NIP 20 seconds, they gotta drop right now.
Nitro Cell goes out, doesn't matter, doesn't make a difference. Cons has the diffuser, and now he's shut down by Rexon, holding the line. Inside a fireplace, inside of the hallway, doesn't matter. The positions for NIP are simply not good enough. Wizard and Pino are gonna have to work some magic, and Rexon knows exactly where Pino is. Trapped in the train, he might find a consolation frag, but Rexon replies with a question mark in the chat, and Shopify Rebellion dominate the first half.
It's at times like these where I hate to see the default operator bans, right? On paper, again, banning Castle, Mira, Asami is great, but what about Troy's Pulse? right? It is getting insane amounts of value. Then they ban the IQ, Ambi's Valkyrie, same exact story. It feels like Shopify Rebellion are just playing one level above NIP right now strategically.
Anyone that watched the Six Invitational 9 years ago in 2017 would know you don't mess around with Canadian players.
And he's back on the shotgun because he's got the Reaper secondary. Like, it's beautiful. And there's just been something about how active Canadian's been getting at this event, getting in the battle, being first in, entering, and his read of the game together with Super, the coach, it's been phenomenal to watch. They've had so many big moments where they're out IGLing and out rotating their opponents. Again, on reading bomb side, they gave them the side to NIP and they retook into them with aggression. There, they know there could be somewhere in the basement or downstairs in kitchen, and they take the pulse scanner a floor above and they look for him, and 3 people chase him down. Look, he was getting flanked by Ambi to his far left. Troy's just watching spot injured. You see, 4 people. Surf also came down. Wow. 4 people. The site was completely vulnerable. NIP did not have the read. They had a 4v1 bomb site.
Axon's like, dude, why is this guy still in train? There's less than 1 second left. Why is this guy still in train? Did you manage to see what Rexon put in the old chat?
I did not.
Just grab the effing bomb and plant.
But that's the thing, right? They had 3 C4s downstairs.
Yeah.
3. So, like, yeah, you have fun planting, man. Soft floor all around the bomb side, pulse scanner. Like, you know, it's not happening.
Attacker's objective is
I think NIP knew that they were screwed very early on in that round. Rebellion played that beautifully. It's for a map like Cafe, which is stereotypically getting a bit stale.
Yeah, that was very entertaining.
Some very fresh-looking siege from Rebellion.
Agreed.
And now as we flip sides, we get to see one of your favorites. The Monty has made its appearance. Another knows how strong Monty is on Cafe because of what you did to him in 2018.
Is he gonna push wide or long bar teams? That's the question.
Luke and Back will be having a word.
And that's again where I look at NIP and go, you bend the Grim, the Togepi, the power-ups, you're getting hunted downstairs again. So this is the thing, right? Troy Canadian knows how to play the pulse C4 beneath. He also knows how to catch that C4 beneath. Yes, it's not a pulse, but it was a 2-brow of cons. And now you can play the round 4v5. That is the most difficult part of the round done on Cafe, arguably. That is a crazy vertical angle. And it's still gonna be hacking the cams.
Was that?
He was literally sitting, hacking the cameras, and gets shot vertically.
That's really smart.
Yeah. That's very smart.
Such a good read there from Fantasy.
And we're saying how it's so hard to get opening pick early in an isolated position for Togepi to hack the cameras. They finally get that early pick, but then insane vertical usage. Shuts down Togepi, trading it back, and I believe the cameras are not hacked. The Surge is not watching anything but the drones.
And hacking the cameras would have been massive because of the echo.
Yeah.
In fact, Wizard, he's the one operator here that I'd be worried about if I was Rebellion. Going up against that Monty, if those Yokais go undetected, Canadian will be toast if he gets guard broken and there's a player ready to shoot him. This is very dangerous. Hates might be able to team up here with Wizard to get the kill onto the Monty.
Loading new mag.
Oh, it's perfect! Read like a book. Rebellion now on the back foot, and Fantasy's doubled up. Spoit and Ambi now think, oh crap, we didn't know there was an echo. Really wish that hack went off from Surf earlier. This is going to be dangerous. No nades left for Spoit, and Ambi has been taken down. Desperation now for the Swede in the 1v3, and Wizard knows exactly where he is. Rebellion dominated the first half, and they looked solid at the start of this round, but NIP have found an adequate reply.
Let's see exactly where Spoit is. There are 2 Yogatons watching him, one from Piano, one from Cigar. Fantasy DMR in hand. Takes down Spoit. Yeah, double deployable shield. They're playing the Echo drones. It's just a lot of util here. And I mean, honestly, like you said, if Togepi hacks the cameras and sees all the echoes, that round is completely different. Small things are winning and losing these rounds for both teams.
Literally, Fantasy, that floor bang, by 1 second,
it literally wins them the
won the round for them because it unlocks the ability to use the echo like that. God, Nick, I gotta say, we have been seeing some great siege at this side.
Disgusting.
Loading new mag.
Now, mind you, if you're playing, you know, ranked or whatever level that you play at, if the enemy, if they have a Togepi on the board and a teammate of yours die, you will drop this mini phone that Togepi will hack. if a teammate of yours dies and you check the surrounding area around the body and there's no phone, means no Dokkaebi, you can actually shoot that drone with any gun. You can impact grenade it as well. So if a teammate dies somewhere, just chuck an impact and run away. Then Dokkaebi can't hack the camp. Something that's very underrated to do. Or in this case, bait that location of the phone with verticality and get a kill.
Impressive from NIP. They've now won a second round, which means that this is going to be a better result than they had against... off the top of my head. This team was they got 7-1 by Heretics. Yeah. Better result than against Heretics, but I wouldn't count Rebellion out yet. They've looked good even when they lose these rounds.
Yeah. I'm a little bit curious about the long-term plan here. If NIP bring it back, Rebellion, they're going to bring out the Canadian Monty once again. Likely going to get banned on that third and last rotation after this, so we'll see how long they can keep it up for. The thing about bringing out the Monty is that you do lose a bit of utility, right? Like, sure, you're going to have your smoke grenades or your can opener, secondary hot breach, but there was a significant lack of soft destruction in that previous attack. They could not clear both deployable shields and Yokais because they had no way to deal with that. They have the Brava now that can hack a couple of things. They have one set of grenades on the sledge. They try and do the same Selma thing here. Funny enough, there's no camera to yellow ping for the information for the side of NIP.
The impact helps, but there was at least one explosion already activated. Brava doesn't actually manage to hack the... Oh no, he did hack the gate already, so...
Thing is, it's playable from Wizard. If Rebellion get on the boost spot outside on the red car, they can actually see his head peeking around. But it's just one player on drones. I think it's Rexon himself actually sitting there. There's a car right behind him that you can boost yourself up upon with a vault prompt.
This is actually Rebellion's Aruni gate, by the way. Not to be confused. Rexon can walk through it. It will just open as soon as he gets close.
Yes, they know if he's jiggling it by the sound then.
Yeah, exactly. The gate will activate, deactivate. Ooh, nice impact, but doesn't do a lot of damage. Now Canadian can continue to harass Wizard.
Yeah.
Wizard has to constantly keep his eyes open on Canadian. Otherwise, Canadian can just ADS, unshields, wants to try and harass him. Wizard doesn't know which target to want. We need someone else from Rebellion to help out. But Wizard's now taken out Rexon. Canadian forced into passivity as he looks to continue fighting Wizard. Spoit from the window supports for one on the small bay. Canadian has to wait, yes, go for the kill. He's diggling the angle and he finds it with the pistol.
A very important kill. That gives them Baker control, and they can now stabilize the round, forcing NIP into an aggressive swing. Hates on a lot of fire. No safety on the bomb side. Fantasy go for a big flank. Has to find a kill.
Oh, big moment, though, for Surf as he comes down the red stairs. This locks out half of the site, half of the map. An ambi from above. It's a 6th round for Shopify Rebellion. They restabilize, and NIP are sent packing.
Wizard was so close, just carrying that round, taking down Rexon, loosening up Bakery double door. But honestly, at the end of the day, it's just so much pressure. Playing a DMR Zoom Scope in a close quarter engagement with a shield, it's such a small hitbox to fight against. Yes, it's a one-shot headshot against the Monty, but you can't see what you're looking at. You're just scoped in right in his dome. But a great first pre-fire. The fact that Shopify really have to win the round off this play right here, that defines everything. Super high risk, and you saw how long Canadian waited to make that play. He knew that I'm only gonna ADS and go for the 50-50 gunfight if we have no other way in. And the reason why he had to do it is Spoit was stuck outside small bakery window with a player holding him in the hallway. If Spoit just kind of jumps in trying to desperately save Canadian, he'll die immediately. And they recognize that. They go, okay, Spoit, you cannot help me. I gotta try and make the play. Let's see what happens.
I'm just going to rub my eyes. Do I say that correctly? Spoit on 11 kills.
He's been farming this game. Also had a 1v3 clutch against the BB.
I gotta say, Spoit, let's be real, he hasn't had the best tournament so far. He's had a few moments.
Statistically, he hasn't, no.
Rebellion has also struggled this tournament in a lot of their games. So they've had 3 7-1s, I believe, against them. A lot of grueling overtime losses. And a lot of their wins have been grueling overtime games that they've only just got across the game.
Yeah, so heartbreaking losses. 1-7 Chalet to D+, 1-7 Chalet to FaZe, 1-7 loss to FaZe on Clubhouse. And then hard-fought victories. 8-6 T2 on Labs, 8-7 T2 on Clubhouse, 8-7 FaZe on Labs.
And also heartbreaking losses to Who was it? Oh, it was the Falcons game, of course.
Yeah, I mean, max overtime, whatnot, yeah.
Overtime against Falcons.
They've been fighting for it.
They have.
When Troy was on DC, they went overtime every goddamn game. Troy with Shopify Rebellion, you know, it's either or. Either you're stomping your opponents or you're just barely winning.
Canadian is the content. We've always known that. It's just nice to see Spoit showing a bit of his Berlin major form. Back in Europe and chasing his first hammer.
I will say this though, while Spoit might have gotten all the kills every single game, he's been pretty good as that middle ground pillar to enable Surf and Ambi to play around him in those supportive positions. Here we see Troy again with the Monty. Probably last round for him is either gonna get banned away or they win in regulation 7-2. Selma charge on the mirror window, clears it, forcing NIP back. Again, they play these mirror windows, but they barely protect them. Ambi with another, Fantasy goes down.
Double digits for the birthday boy as he looks to chase Spoit as top fragger. Two-player advantage, Rebellion, as Pino tries to fall back and Surf catches him. Talk about impact plays from this guy over here. He's been smurfing and surfing over NIP. Wizard needs to pull something out of the hat here, and he does! A good frag, but Ambi returns fire. 3 kills on the round for the young gun, as Cons is left with the impossible task of 1v4ing to save the map.
Monty! Oh, I didn't know!
Tries to bait him, but he will find nothing. Rexon to put the nail in the coffin for NIP. A dominant first map in this series sets up Shopify Rebellion to begin their lower bracket run.
I mean, Rebellion, they start on defense. They got a good strat going into it. NIP, they've only beaten Theorix at this event, so going up against Shopify Rebellion, it's a much taller challenge. We got more Siege coming for you after this quick break.
Shopify Rebellion take that first map with ease, and I feel like we don't say it often, but it was a bit of a team diff on all kinds of different fronts, and even when Shopify Rebellion players were down in clutch situations.
Yeah, it didn't really look like Shopify Rebellion was worried at all. Like you said, even when they're down clutch situations, they have big players that are going to clutch up, and I think that's the biggest aspect, is the confidence aspect from SR, being able to regain it throughout the tournament, to be able to come here. Sometimes you got to go through the lower bracket to be able to bounce back and have momentous plays like this. I mean, this 1v3 from Spoit early on in round 4, it was very well played. He sees the BB pushing up, but the C4 still gets hit, and then he goes back downstairs to rotate. Nice little push, and again, the BB is just there as a moving drone, not really using his gun at all, and it was really heads-up play from Spoit to be able to pop that C4 anyway, get the kill behind him, and clean up the Blackbeard.
It's also good to see the birthday boy give him a little praise here. I mean, 11 and 6 in the map so far. I mean, both these two, it's good that we're highlighting Spoit because we haven't been able to as much. Ambi, he's always been a spearhead for this team. We talk about Ambi time and time again. So it's good that we're seeing both these players come alive, especially in this do-or-die situation. And something that I even was, said in the beginning of this pre-show is they need to look as perfect as possible and play as close to that, and they absolutely did on that cafe. I mean, the clutches, the team play, the synergy was absolutely there. I am very scared for NIP once we get into this second map.
Yeah, I think the biggest talking point is Spoit. I mean, we've been criticizing him the whole event, having some up and downs, and I know Elegance is somewhere cheering with joy that Spoit is finally topping the charts, and look at the stats across the board. And when you look at the side of NIP again, the entries aren't necessarily too divided. It is very decent when it comes to the side of NIP getting those opening kills. But what do we talk about? Even if Fantasy's getting kills, even if NIP is getting opening kills, their late game understanding of how are we going to connect the dots to Fantasy to be able to go for those executes, it's not there. There hasn't been much change. When we look on Cafe, there hasn't been much change. No. So again, it does scare me for NIP going into a map like Border that there hasn't been much change.
No, it does. I mean, when you're looking at that, they should have won that round 4, right? That 3v1 scenario. These are mental breakers when you look at the side of NIP, and they're on the brink of elimination. Can they keep themselves in the tournament? We're going to find out.
Thank you very much. That we will, and we're going to Border, the battleground chosen by NIP. Pengu, they actually got very close against Weibo, almost taking them to well, they did take them to overtime and lost on this very map. Shopify, they did have a good win on Border against Black Dragons, but I mean, it's Black Dragons. Do we have any hope for Ninjas in Pajamas here?
Yeah, honestly, I have a little bit of hope. I have more hope than I did on Cafe because the way that NIP play the game is that aggressive spearhead in the building, Fantasy in your face playstyle, which is going to work out better on Border in general.
Well, after an 18-month hiatus from the international stage, NIP are back. They did well in Munich. Now they look to do even better here at SI, but they will need to come back 1-0 down in the series against Shopify Rebellion as the North Americans look to get it done in 2.
Nice little 2-0, huh? The thing is, when you're going through the lower bracket, which is exactly where we are right now for both of these two teams and many others, getting 2 O's is actually much better than it is in the usual group stage, for many reasons. One, reserving energy. It is gonna be a long and grueling tournament if you're in the lower bracket, playing many more games than the teams in the upper bracket. And 2, because you're playing many more games, you can get to save strats and save maps for even longer, because if you go 2-1 every single series, you're showing much more of your playbook. And a team like Shopify Rebellion has a deep strat book that they're using every single time. The longer that can be hidden for, the better.
And last year we saw FaZe Clan, the eventual champions, start in the lower bracket round 1 before they eventually made it all the way to the grand final to win it. They had 2-1s over Liquid, Virtus.pro, and Team Falcons, the old Team Falcons roster, and then 3 2-0s over SSG Unwanted and Furia. They revealed so much information, and they still went into that grand final and won it.
Yeah, that's the thing though. If you're a strat team versus a, I don't know, all-around team, it will change the conversation there. Some teams depend more on your pocket strat, your one-offs, and people analyzing their playstyle. Imagine going up into a grand finals against Furia right now and go, oh, so what are they bad at? Okay, that was that conversation. So what are their strengths? Boom, bam, boom. And just like the aggression, the confidence, the individual players. You can't counter-strat super hard against a team that isn't like as strat-heavy.
Yeah, and look, Rebellion are a team that like to innovate a lot. They like to play their play style. They like to bring a lot of pocket strats. They were one of the most early adopters of the Sens a year ago back in Boston.
10 seconds
I remember we got very excited about that when we started to see Sens come into the meta. And right now, they're happy to bring old styles back, like the Pulse Shotgun from Canadian. And the more that they reveal, I think teams will start to read into their playstyle.
Exactly. And that can be in the form of an operator ban, of targeting Troy as an individual where he's playing on the map. There's so many ways to deal with analysis once that information is out there. That is why a 2-0 would be a great look here for either team. But in this case, for a 2-0 to happen, it has to be Shopify Rebellion because they won Cafe 7-2 very confidently. Operator bans, we got an Asami and Goyo target band here on border. That's going to mean that the pushes on the side are a lot easier because Goyo is gone. Asami easier to, of course, take CCTV, E-stairs, etc. And for Shopify Rebellion, it's the good old Ying and Deimos. So not too far off of Cafe. That was the Grim and the Ying.
Twitch drones come in. Fantasy played it a bunch in the past. We've seen a lot of teams really utilize the Twitch and also the Brava very well, especially on maps like this, for clearing out a lot of util before making the first incision. Wizard finds Ambi. The Oryx put down. Oh, nice peek from Spoit though. Wizard got a little bit of a jump scare jumping on his drone.
Spoit can still feel the power of Cafe going for that ego challenge, but it's a really good peek. Trading back Ambi, keeping numbers even. Eight's injured, but cannot be confirmed and probably will be safe to be revived later on, unless...
Oh, nice trade. Fantasy does come up. Hate's finished off by Canadian on the pulse shotgun, but the Monty is still alive, and into the 3v3 with Canadian on half HP and the Monty still up. I can't help but feel like NIP might actually be favored on paper.
Yeah, I'm sure the Canadian could pop these hatches, look for a fallback late round and play two different win conditions. So he stays above for now to help hold 90, hold the crossfires. The moment he's under pressure, probably gonna drop down, play the verticality. Then NIP have a short gap where they can either rush the bomb side, they can just say, with no pulses beneath, either we hunt him or we leave him be, but we have to be conscious of that C4 downstairs.
Oh, wow.
He swings it.
Bait, Surf, over egregious, swinging outside of Armory. Now Canadian needs to play this perfectly. The C4 could be nuclear, but he needs to make sure the player doesn't move. The timing could be off, but he nukes the Montaigne. 2v2 now, and that does give up the jig. NIP now know it's a 2v2. They have to push. Spoit needs to hold the line. Bit of damage onto him as Fantasy goes deep. Canadian below. But he's got that shotgun, and he's got the Reaper. NIP don't know if he's still down below. Pino spots him, and Fantasy will commit with the AK. Finds the first round for NIP.
Very small bit of miscommunication there from the side of Shopify Rebellion. The second the C4 goes off, they have to acknowledge that a bomb site rush is super likely because it's the most obvious play to make. The one opening you have is in Pulse, it's in Customs downstairs, and the both people right outside Ari, Spoit should either be expecting the rush or Troy should be calling, hey, watch out for this. They didn't. NIP played it perfectly. They get in, they get the pick, and they get side control.
It was a good round from the get-go for Rebellion, aside from losing Ambi early. Rexon losing E-stairs, I mean, he was kind of, it was his time, he was due. This felt like the decisive moment for me.
Yeah.
Right? It was Surf dying, swinging outside. It meant that even though Canadian found the Nitro kill, as you said, NIP immediately had an obvious choice to make, which was it's time to rush the site, and Spoit could not fall back early enough. Canadian could not retake quickly enough.
Yeah. I do think the swing was a bit overzealous there, definitely. If you're fishing for C4 downstairs, want to keep that bomb site safe. Your job is to just play sheltered rolls on the bomb site. The Surf goes down, Spot is the cover, miss comes, whatever. Still not a bad round from Rebellion though. But NIP showing the border is more of their map, I think.
Definitely. I think the chaos of it lends itself to NIP. Rebellion though, no need to lose sleep over that round. It happens.
Yeah.
And of course, they lost Ambi very early. The Monty and Blackbeard double shield combo being brought out by NIP. Spoit replies with an Oryx pick. It's now a 2 for 2 on the Oryx, so he can 1v1 either of those shields.
That's pretty smart. Spoit recognizes that the big weakness is just a shield in his face, but the thing is, what if there was a blitz? I know there isn't, but the blitz could go in, flash him, you can't dash the shield operator, then you'll probably get taken down. But I also think Spoit recognizes the strongest shields here are gonna be the more safe ones, which is the Blackbeard having a good gun and grenades, and Monty that's just quote-unquote unkillable. But he wants the Monty really badly. How about he trades 1 for 1? If he just runs at him, charges, and his teammate kills him, is that worth it?
No, I don't think it is.
It might be. Oryx for Monty?
Look, if he dashed outside right now, he's not going to get the kill. He's going to dash the Monty, knock him over, and he's going to die. Surely not. Wow, Fantasy's taking a hell of a lot of damage. Maybe now, and C4 from Surf is going to finish off that Montaigne. Don't even need the dash from Oryx.
They're working offense at the same time, though. Rebellion doing a great job.
Nice swing from
Splitting the
Sport.
pressure. Good swing to Sport again.
And you're right, though. Rebellion now need to be careful of this offense push. Cons under a lot of pressure, but Canadian gets the angle around it with the pistol. Everyone from NIP falling one by one. Hates the last man standing, but all he'll find is the one. Ambi recomposes. And a great round from Shopify Rebellion to reply. Wake up, Surf, mate.
Come on, dude. We're fist pumping right now. We're celebrating the round victory. I mean, if we thought that NIP can play a scrappy, aggressive, spearhead of a border, how about the current playstyle of Shopify Rebellion? We saw them on Cafe on 2 separate rounds, chasing enemies despite being on the defender side of Cafe. Now here in Border, they're also fanning out, taking fights. It's Sport and Surf working together on Armory, with 2 people playing Office, taking down the Blackbeard, and then that 5th player is a loose roamer, likely gonna be Ambi. See right here, 2v1 swing, Rexon and Canadian, and guess what? Ambi's in below, full roaming himself as the Solus, and they all get kills. So they're covering so much of the map, horizontally, vertically, locking out NIP.
I'm just running, bro.
He said it.
I mean, he's not wrong. NIP never got themselves into the building, not properly. They never had control of CCTV. They never really even took East stairs, which for many teams is step 1.
So that's the difficulty here, right? If you go back to the very first round, Monty died in break room CCTV to a post C4 below. So this time, guess what? He's gonna go on the exterior balcony because there's no C4s downstairs, but then there's a crossfire elsewhere and his team is stuck outside the building. And it's these small mini games that can really impact the small decisions of individual players. If you fear that C4 downstairs, you're gonna take the safer option for you, but it's gonna weaken your teammates because they don't have the Monty shield. They can't just walk that path. And it's why playing the verticality, playing fast, playing slow, spawn picking, and playing passive, it's so important to play all styles of Siege so your enemy can just adapt to what you're doing and get very comfortable having that dance. Now it's a Clash, for example. So the 3rd operator for Troy pulls into Lesion, into Clash. Very different playstyles.
Yeah.
And then they're doubling down with also the Kite Claws and the Cancel Barricades and the Aruni Gates.
Yeah, especially looking at Archives. Absolute fortress, Castle, Aruni on all of those.
Yeah.
Exterior doors and walls. Kaid on triple.
I think the reason why they've done this is they're just respecting the Archives direct attack or the rush. And by getting Castle Barricades and Aruni Gates on this setup and denying triple wall, the Archives rush gets stopped before it even starts. And that's because of the Goyo ban.
Yeah.
By NIP banning out the Goyo, they could play Thatcher and go for a rush and maybe guarantee a round victory. So instead, Rebellion have built this strat likely around that aspect and forcing a different approach.
Yeah, wow, they've really created a fortress.
Yeah.
Completely abandoning East stairs. Castle Barricades, and guess what? There's an Aruni Gate behind it. Oh, careful though, Ambi. He exposes himself to the long angle from East stairs. Has his head taken off. Ambi's been a bit hot and cold. He's had some really strong rounds, but also some early deaths now. 2 times for Rebellion on Border.
I didn't realize the Castle Barricade was opened a second earlier. I was about to say, what this defense also does really well is nobody's isolated. Like you said, they gave up Easter's control. That's normally the 1v5 kind of player. But Ambi dying from that far angle does mean Rebellion start off this round in a man disadvantage. And while you're playing the Clash, that can be sometimes be a 3v5.
Oh, careful, Clash. Don't walk up too close to that.
Surely not.
Nomad, air jabs. Boyd is going to get stabbed in the back as Cons just manages to march on inside of CCTV. He wasn't spotted by Canadian. Perhaps they needed more angles opened in order to allow Canadian to use that tase against the Monty further away.
Big win con here for NIP is going to be the Monty. He has to go in and show where the attack is coming from. And right now, if they want that triple breach, they gotta get the Kite Claw. It's on the floor. Rexon hiding beneath it.
Gonna find it.
They hear the angle. The crossfire has to do the toe sticking out.
Rexon down on the ground. Canadian needs to have a big impact. He is the shield counter operator, and Wizard is snuck into the back line. Surf finding that kill. No refrag from NIP just yet. Means that Rebellion might actually have a chance. If Canadian is able to get aggressive onto Cons, but as the plant goes down, it will be nigh impossible. 180 with shield. Canadian somehow gets past him, but he isn't into the enemy lines yet. And NIP can swat down those last 2 players. As the plant confirms, so too do NIP with the round.
I thought he was gonna turtle the shield on his back and crouch walk up and deny the plant with 1 second left, maybe winning on time. But NIP, they hold their ground. They took down Surf and Armory, they shut down Canadian inside the Archives, and they guarantee themselves at least that second round. The multi-ban comes out, and in response, as does the Clash. This opens up the game now in a different area. We're gonna have information vertically, let's say the Solis, the Valkyrie, and the Pulse, and we're gonna have hard holding positions like the mirror windows. We can bandit trick them or play, you know, the Wamais, the Jaegers, and just bunker down in one single spot.
This was a pretty important moment, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I was wondering, like, what if they had just fully opened the soft wall instead of making just a single rotate? Open the soft wall between CCTV and the balcony so that Canadian can actually tase the Monty, no matter where he is in CCTV from Armory.
Oh, there's 8 seconds left, actually. I thought it was less. But no, you're right. More lines of sight. The only issue is it works both ways. They're playing Clash, UMP, Thorn. Not really a lot of DMRs there. They have the Aruni, but that was the first diff in the round. And Rexon was the second diff in the round in office, so it feels like, or third diff technically.
It's the two-scoped operator.
It was the two-scoped operators that wouldn't be playing Armory where the long angle existed.
Yeah.
Had Ambi stayed alive, then maybe, but he was, again, first diff.
That's something for Ambi to think about. He was really good on the first map, and he's had some good moments throughout the series as a whole, but 2 early deaths.
I mean, that was just unlucky, right? He had a castle barricade where he felt, okay, I literally cannot die from these stairs. And then if you don't hear it popping,
Look, I agree it's hard, but that's part and parcel of playing that position.
yeah.
You have to be really wary of those long angles.
What if Ambi thought he had plot armor? Maybe he thought it's my birthday.
It's his birthday!
Don't shoot back.
20 years old today!
Also, that is a debuff, right? Once you leave your teens and seeds, you know, you're 20, you're 21, Thermite's not long.
He's washed up.
Thermite's coming, Ambi.
You know, Canadian turns 30 in 4 months.
Hold up. He's right here. He's literally right there.
Dynasty, who's around the corner? It's Surf. The Oryx has now taken the lead in the scoreboard. 6 kills. I saw him during the break and I said, Surf, nice shots that game. And he said, yeah, dude, 5 kills, I'm nasty. And I was like, I like that he's got a sense of humor.
It's not how many of those kills you get, it's how you get them. And they're very high in value, Surf. We recognize that. And taking out Dynasty here might not be the highest value on Sledge, but it still gives your team a huge advantage. And with crossfires in the 5v4, he's back upstairs in CCTV. Meanwhile, in NIP, this 2 spearheaded attack also taken off his control, forcing back Rexon into a corner. Shattered mirror window. Nades being tossed in. He's under a lot of pressure.
It's such an extended hold here for Rebellion, considering that this is actually the quaternary bomb site.
And the breach.
In custom inspection. Wow, he's not even dropping down the hatch. He's committing to the fight. He wants to take one with him. And he will down to Pino. A second one surely not to follow. Hates. He doesn't have any bullets. Out comes the shotty. And that's goodbye to the Ash. Wizard 1v5. I cannot believe a flawless round for Rebellion. Customs inspection, by the way.
I didn't even see the bomb site.
Did you notice the bomb site?
I was like, this gotta be a Sedation one, right? I don't care.
No,
and then
dude,
it was customs.
I only noticed like 30 seconds to go that we were playing customs.
Dude, what awful casters we are. It's not my bad that Rebellion are holding it so well Armory and then NIP attack so.
This is why I'm like,
focused
why didn't Rexon fall back? So yeah, it's like there was a player inside of Vets early on. So you're like, is that the bomb site? No, it was right next to the bomb site. But man, Rexon's just laid it out on the table, hasn't he?
I mean, if you want to be really nitpicky here, that first grenade from Blackbeard either missed the bandit battery or he wasted the second. Because in my mind, you toss out the first grenade, clear the bandit battery, you breeze stall with Ace, and then the second grenade will clear the corner which Rexon is stuck in. Instead, they spend both grenades, then they breeze, and that corner Rexon gets a 2-piece, is completely safe. So again, Rexon, Rebellion, they're playing these rounds almost perfectly given their circumstances, but NIP can do more to make it harder for them. And that's kind of where I feel like NIP, while they're pretty good in gunfights right now, again, the utility usage both on Cafe and Border has not been at 100%. And it's giving Rebellion some of these gunfights that are just too easy for them. Imagine dodging a nade while taking a 2v1 gunfight versus duking a nade and taking a 1v1 gunfight, waiting 5 seconds, reloading, and then taking another gunfight. Rexon played it as good as he could, but as I said, NIP could make it harder for him.
So in terms of the half, what's a win condition here for NIP?
3-3?
How many rounds? You reckon they need 3?
I think 3-3. I think you need 3 attacks to have a good chance. A 4 would be phenomenal, obviously, but I don't think 2 is enough because defense is where I think NIP actually is going to have a harder time. When you and I saw Shopify Rebellion on border last, they had phenomenal attacks. Such a good read, counter-shredding, pace changing. So I think NIP needs an even or a head here on the attacking side.
Border is 43% attacker-sided. Sorry, 53% attacker-sided.
Okay, that makes more sense.
53% attacker-sided at SI so far. So it is one of the only maps that actually skews towards the attack.
Yeah, makes sense.
Setting up a breaching sequence.
NIP doing something new this time. They're really taking it slow and holding their angles. Void strikes first, takes down a wizard, nomad removed. This break room door has been such an obstacle for NIP, mostly due to Sport, how good he's been in this location. 4 kills to 2 devs, and it's a second kill on this exact door.
Oh, Fantasy though, he's always looking for a lurk and a way in. He's just found Ambi. Another opening death for Ambi.
It is the bomb set this time.
Yeah, it is indeed. Fantasy's very close to it. Is there anyone on the bomb site? No, everyone is upstairs.
But he took down Solus, mind you. That's the win condition. That's the only information. There's a single bulletproof camera that's downstairs.
Rexon's suspicious.
If they get in the case with Cons, this is super plannable. He's in east stairs. He's so far away. So Fantasy is rat playing alone by the bomb site. His teammates still have to clear upstairs.
The longer that Fantasy is here, the more Rebellion are going to likely assume
Here he
clear.
comes.
And as Con starts to make his way over, is there a rotate in from bathroom?
He can pop it himself. That's a soft wall. So Cons can get in, try and bait a plant, or nade the guy in office first.
Is this going to be a retake? Oh, Fantasy's finally spotted. Rexon up above, made some holes in the floor of Archives.
Injured.
Canadian, though, injured by that grenade, and Hates will finish him off. So it's tit for tat. NIP have lost their site presence, but they've taken down one of these players in offices, which means that the top floor is a bit more vulnerable.
I still think it's plannable. Get Pino either downstairs to assist and avert angles, or Hates pressure upstairs to the breach. All of a sudden, Cons can definitely get this diffuser down. This breach denies the hatch pass, but Rexon is prone. This could save the round. He could prone towards the hatch or kill the guy in the window here if he's good.
Plan is going down. He needs to take the fight on the player on the window. But Surf sends a nuke from way downtown. It takes out Cons.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Rexon seems to own this position inside of Archives. 2 rounds straight. Pino in a 1v3. He's got no chance. He might see Surf, but Surf can just tuck in the corner and bide his time. Rexon is very happy again with how he's managed to hold on to Archives, and Shopify Rebellion are 3-2 up on defense.
I mean, this is so good. This is what feels like prime Rebellion. Rexon cannot be cleared from any of the positions that he plays in. He keeps staying alive somehow, and Serve has the saving play. Every time something else goes wrong, whether it's a C4 or a good swing or a flank, always there. Right place, right time, with the right piece of utility in the pocket. With Ambi dying first again, very pivotal operator, right? The Solace, the win condition changes. Canadian, great nade from Cons takes him down on the ground.
15 seconds to go.
But then these small moments, Rexon hiding by the breach, Serve saving his C4 the entire round. That's in the last 10 seconds. They have the answer. Win conditions, very clear for Shopify Rebellion, and for NIP, they just need one more attack, boys. Come on.
You know one more defense?
They need one, no, the NIP boys need one more
I
attack.
think you were saying Rebellion. Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? This is, I've double-checked. Border is the most attacker-sided map at Six Invitational, and NIP are one of the worst attacking teams at the tournament. In fact, they are worse than Elevate,
Moving out to locate a
who
bomb
was
and defuse
the
it.
first team to
No
go.
shade to Elevate, but that says something.
The only teams with worse attacking win rates than NIP are the 4 teams who have already been eliminated. Black Dragons, Fearx, Enterprise, and Daystar, who technically hasn't been eliminated yet. But that may change.
Yeah. I mean, as you said, going into this, it's NIP who's only beaten Fearx, who did not look like they were at 100% efficiency for this event. Otherwise, it's all losses across the board. That means that almost no matter who they go up against, unless they face a team like Daystar perhaps, who's a bit further down there as well, it's gonna be a very difficult matchup. And it has been so far. I mean, Cafe showed the whole story, right? The 2-7 loss in the first map, getting out-strategized. Now here in Border, it's looking better. But again, they need this attack round. Get that 3-3-half, make it competitive.
To their credit, NIP did get maps off of both M80 and Heretics. M80, the champions in Munich. Heretics have proven themselves to be a very strong team, but they need to keep that momentum up. They need to keep on getting better game after game. And sadly, that hasn't been the case today. When it matters most, they bottomed out their group, and they need to have a lower bracket run to save their skin.
Sequential breaching activated.
I like this round, though, what we've seen from them. A lot of breachability happening on the tellers and bathroom.
It's very horizontal. They need to find Canadian to get into the bomb site itself. You can lock down the window jump in.
Oh, good smokes.
They're just going to send it.
This is so dangerous.
They're sending it.
He's going to need another smoke, though, for coverage. He has one in pocket, but he hasn't used it as of yet. As it goes out, he's planting just outside of the smoke. He might be able to make it work. And this plant is now coverable all the way from deep inside of Customs, and he's taken out Rexon. The pivotal player that needed to have an impact, needed to deny the plant. Canadian is locked out of it as well, and finally finished off by Hates. NIP look to finally redeem their half with a risky play. 4v2 in the post plant. Surf and Spoit have to work wonders.
They have no information, not a clue. Surf finds another one, Fantasy goes down, but there's only 15 seconds left to get the vert control. Spoit tapping in for information.
Oh, there's a player in Passport, and Pino will find them both. Much needed round for NIP, and a much needed win for Pino.
That's a statement.
It is a statement, but look, Shopify Rebellion, they've still dictated the pace, and that was such a risky play for NIP.
It's what they needed though, right? You're down 2-3, you gotta make it work right here, right now. What do? You do the most unpredictable attack against a very prepared enemy. There's no way they saw that coming, because if they did, they would have had the toxic babes being thrown out, a C4 that pushed the smoke grenade, something.
It's just the most exposed plant spot you could possibly ask for.
Literally.
Which means that if you get that plant down, it's a round one, because there's no way that they can get into position where you can't deny it. You can deny it from mezzanine. You could be outside the building and jump in mezzanine, and in 1 second deny the plant. You could be outside Passport, sprinting. You could be in Customs.
You could drop bathroom hatch and see this instantly almost as well.
You could be above. You could be in so many different places. And that meant that Rebellion needed to deny it.
The round is won or lost based around the bomb going down or getting denied. It's that simple. They spent all their smoke grenades, everything for that plant. And they wallbanged it. They wallbanged took me down to what, 20 health? Yeah, 20 health. If any of those fake bullets hit the target.
Boy could have denied it right here.
So could Rexon. He's playing smoke right next to him. But they had no clue this was going on. I mean, mind you, Cons took a really good path in towards the side. He didn't trigger any traps, really. Like, no elements, maybe a single thorn in the blue hallway, perhaps? But they didn't know if he was inside or where on side.
And there were a lot of traps. I mean, Thorn, Ella, and Fenrir. Not to mention the smoke for Plant Denial, and yet they dodged all of it. Again, like, that's the kind of round where if you're sitting there, NIP fan, worried about them getting eliminated, you are on the edge of your seat.
That's the attack they're going for. My boys are crazy.
The win condition is on a nice edge. Did Fantasy just try and hide the Valkyrie?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he hasn't put out any of his utility yet. He's hunting drones. Still 2 cameras in pocket. He's just put 1 out in Customs.
He's got places to go, man.
Got a little bit inspired by how good Rebellion's Valkyrie was on the first map. I love this Valcam. It's one of my favorites.
Our feet up and running.
Yes,
and this is also a classic.
An avid archives planter when I'm attacking. I hate that Valcam. You can't shoot it from the window.
Nah, you have to get deep.
Yep. Good information from NIP, right? They got both the Valkyrie and the Solace. But Shopify Rebellion's attacks, last we saw them here in Border, was very fundamentally strong. You know, they'll take an area that can be east stairs and CCTV, and they work from that area forward. And then look at their enemy's composition. Knowing that there's a Valkyrie on the board here means they're going to be very careful with the vertical C4s from Troy on the Monty. So where he's going to go on the map is going to be dictated by that operator. That's why he's going to go into the balcony here, into office with much less vert.
Look, I'm a little surprised NIP didn't ban out the Monty. They went for Ying and Glaz instead.
Yeah.
I mean, Canadian played Montaigne every single round of attack on Cafe, and Rebellion looked really strong on that half.
I would argue that Border is probably a weaker multi-map than Cafe, but with that being said, it's still a strong map for him. Monty's always pretty good.
Oh, nice vert.
Good vert, yeah.
He managed to get both of them? I think he did.
Yeah, he did. So we see, when Troy's not in the building, it means that Rebellion doesn't have a clear way in just yet. They're double, triple droning. They see Armory Archives. Surf on the Archives window can kind of cut that in half. That protects the Monty from above. Because Monty's going in downstairs, that means that he can't get C4'd vertically. So that's the protection game. But there are pre-placed C4s waiting. We see it's going to be a very linear push. I mean, they could use NIP's attack against them, right? If they take bathroom control, get in through the rotate, and then plant with the heads covered, How do they clear out this player of hates in bathroom? Not sure.
Well, if NIP keep up the pressure elsewhere, then it might not be. Oh, this is dangerous. Canadian exposed himself for a brief moment, and Fantasy comes in to help out. Fantasy's now found 2 kills. Canadian knows he has to get desperate. He has to take the fight with the pistol, but his risk pays off. 3v3 again, even though Canadian is low HP.
They got the hatch. They could go for plant or 2v1, surf upstairs. They have to.
Rex needs to win this fight, but he can't even get the damage onto Cons. And with that, Rexon down below, and Canadian him together. Oh, he's so dead. Pino at Nitro Cell was everything he needed. Rexon now has to clutch up, and he's being watched from the hatch above from his own position. NIP take the lead on the first round of their defense.
Great read from Ninjas in Pajamas. 2v1 in the line upstairs. That's going to change the entire round. They could have just gone for that same NIP plant below the hatch. Serves had it covered with the Lion. But they recognize, hey, if we 2 on the line, we open the hatch. Now they got to go deep in the bomb side. That's where Bandit is. He has a C4. He can take down the Monty. Everything is good. And it was actually Shopify Rebellion struggling to get that first footing in the building. The second they entered, 2 players died immediately.
3-4 now in favor of the Brazilians. And look, maybe you were right about this Monty pick. Though it does feel like the reason that didn't work was because of Fantasy, and I didn't actually see exactly where he was playing.
I think he swung the single wall teller's door.
I can't believe Surf lost that fight as well. It looked like he landed 2 chest shots.
The funny thing is, right, when you got the Monty there jumping in bathroom, you're kind of just a big drone. If that was a blitz, you get in the face of Kite immediately, it's a really easy kill. That's kind of all the thing about playing the Monty versus Blitz on Border, is that Border's pace doesn't fit Monty very well. And if you're going for direct plants, Blitz can do the same job.
Are you sure that Canadian isn't listening to what you're saying?
I think Canadian and I, we came from the same era of Siege.
You did. You were the 2017, 2018, 2019 era of Siege.
Yeah, and the reason why I personally am a big Rebellion fan here is because I see so much quote-unquote old-school gameplay inspired probably from Canadian. They play very logically, which I really enjoy watching and playing myself. And then there's a newer generation where I'm like, man, I'm too bad for this. It's too chaotic. My brain doesn't know what's going on.
Look, it's still logical. It's just a different kind of logic.
Yeah, okay, to me, it's not logical, right? I'm like, I wouldn't do that. I would just lose the gunfight. You're coin flipping it. But,
yeah,
you know, the game has evolved and people have to adapt. And that's why I'm retired and why they're still going. So there's that.
Well, speaking of, this is something that we discussed a little bit last night. There are 6 people in the history of Rainbow Six Siege who have won 2 Six Invitationals. I see 4 from Spoit from way down
From
south.
customs, by the way, up through the floor, up through the door. Look at that angle. Damn!
That's gnarly.
Yep.
As I was saying, there's 6 people who have won 2 SIs.
Yep.
There is you,
Yep.
Fabian,
Yep.
and your old teammates Eunice and Goga.
Yep.
There's Canadian,
Yep.
and there's Bosco.
Yes.
Every single one of those players is retired, except for Canadian. And in 4 months, he's going to be 30 years old. Could he be the first player, and maybe the only player, ever to win 3 Six Invitationals before he retires? Because that question mark's going to be coming pretty soon.
It is.
Located a bomb!
It is. Troy probably would say, I'm never going to retire, I'll keep playing, but everyone has their moment, has their day come to them. But for now, he's hanging, and the individuals had a great event so far. I really enjoyed seeing him the last couple of days. Another customs defense, by the way. Everyone seems to bring this out into action. We've seen a wildcard bring it out. Both teams here in IP and Shopify Rebellion. Spoilers went down early to that incredible C4 means they're a little bit limited in what they can and cannot do. For example, all those hatches inside a CCTV, they cannot be broken. That makes this bomb side infinitely stronger.
Oh, rough angle for Canadian. ADSing at long range.
Enemy tech.
Not going to work.
Enemy devices.
I don't know what he was. He just stunned.
Could be a Valcam.
Or a Nitro?
Swap in mags.
Or a Nitro, yeah.
Maybe he doesn't really know, of course. It was a Nitro, apparently. He's actually just going to use this. I think that's just to destroy the Nitro, partly, as much as is to get vertical. Still a player down in Harry Potter. Rebellion are really struggling to finish off these side players, but if Wizard swings, that'll give Rexon a chance to even things up, but nah, he's just going to get swung back again. Ambi, though, trades onto Fantasy. He might actually be able to pick up Rexon. 15 seconds. This is very dangerous, very last minute, but Hates has also been spotted. Surf sees his head, but he loses the fight. Time is ticking away and there's nowhere safe to plant. Nice shot from Ambi, but he can't get that diffuser back again. NIP at the drop of a hat, at the switch of the sides, they find 2 rounds in a row.
It's very small things. Spoit dying meant that they couldn't get any of the hatches. And there are 2 hatches in
Take
CCTV.
space.
You guys
Oh,
hear
in
me?
timeout.
Yeah. Okay, big thing. Obviously, as Troy said, they're playing way more bunkered, so that means we can't take space. We also need to be patient because they're playing bunkered, so we kind of have to wait for things to set up so we can get what we need to be able to do what we want. That means not being careless with our positioning. Obviously, if they're underneath playing horizontal, what does that mean? They probably have C4s, right? Like, be thinking about the setups. Don't just assume it's like every other border because they're trying to play a different style. That obviously doesn't mean that they're going to stick to it, and they could obviously switch it up, in which case we have great ops for East takes.
Yeah.
But just main thing, guys, make sure we're being patient and taking space where we have it, okay? Communicate, stop separating so much and just giving ones everywhere. We're not playing together. Stick to what we're good at, okay? Let's go.
Solid.
Guys.
Covers everything that I could possibly think of right there. Both the current issue of how they're playing their own style and how they're playing their hard setup. So we need to take more time, be less careless about how we dodge a C4, for example, without kind of name-shaming anybody, saying, generally speaking, guys, this is what we got to focus on. And then saying, if they switch it and go for default East holds, we have so many strong others open, like the Grim, like the Capital, like the Shields, to deal with that location.
Look, you can barely even blame Spoit for dying. He was outside the building droning.
Yeah. He got hit by the craziest C4 known to man. But it's one of those things where this happens once, and now you have to recognize it, and this tactical timeout was about recognizing this fact.
Yeah.
And also, I think it's kind of saying, shit happens.
Yeah.
Because there will be rounds like this where you lose the one operator that you needed. And it's why we see so many teams nowadays bring out more than one hard breacher. And it might be in the form of secondary can openers on the Capital Multi, plus they play the Hibana. Because if the Hibana dies, you're screwed. And they didn't bring a spare setup because they had the Blitz.
Redundancy, right? And that's, we talked about the eras of Siege before. You talked about the old style, the more logical style. Back in the day, we didn't have redundancy.
There was Thermite.
We just played Thermite.
That's it.
And then after that, we just played Thermite and Hibana.
And you know
That's
what?
all we had.
What people used to do back in the very beginning, there was a 5-man spawn peek shot on every map, because if you found the Thermite, you win the round.
Yeah.
You just fall back to the bomb side. Same with if you do kill capture.
And the new era of Siege, you have to be much more adaptive mid-round. Because constantly things are changing. You don't know what operators you're going to have at the end of the round when it comes down to a 3v3, 2v2. You don't know if you're going to get... Like, we don't play checklist Siege anymore.
No,
we can't.
not as much. There's too many things to check.
Too many things to check and too many things that can go wrong. Like, if you can't tick off one item, then you just have to change things up. At the moment, the checklist item that Rebellion's trying to deal with is breaching this wall of passport into waiting, but Hates is making that very challenging.
And honestly, big praise to NIP right now, not playing a standard, usual border against a very sound team of Rebellion. They're playing their very much own style, own iteration, and it's working well so far.
Oh, Ambi freebie. Nice. Finally. So Rebellion identified that Hates was continuing to hold on to that vertical position to try and protect that wall inside of waiting. And Ambi decided, look, we have a bit of redundancy in the hard breach. Maybe it is worth... Actually, they don't have any backup hard breach.
No, that's what I say. They just have the ace, one spare Selma, but...
A little bit risky of him to take that fight then.
It is true, but there's also a lot of big rotations here because of the Clash. When you play Clash in defense, you make these very big open rotations you can sprint through, so Clash has to unshield, crouch, walk through. This also gives opening to Rebellion when they get by side. Because Office Triple is open, Armory Wall is open, they have the ways in they need. The last Selma just went out to weaken the CCTV attack again by cutting off the rotation here on 90.
Yes. Does give a bit of vision to Fantasy, but... Oh, the fire comes out. Cons is feeling the pressure. Yeah, it does miss this little tuck that Cons can play in. Ambi's going to have to get aggressive now. In through 90, the smoke might cover him. If he is able to walk through, he could just backstab through the rotate. Yeah. He needs to go while the smoke is selected. Second smoke goes through. He spots the player and stabs him in the back. It's beautiful. And it leaves just Fantasy left. In a 1v5 for NIP. Shield on his back. He finds the first kill. SMG's only got 13 bullets left. He knows the diffuser is down. But Spoit from outside the armory wall will shut him out of it. And Shopify Rebellion make good after that initial tactical timeout.
It's a huge switch up. taking the time, measuring 2, 3, 4 times, then cutting once, isolating the solo player in break room, get the 5v4, and then again, beautiful use of the Capital. The first fire went out, it lasts now 13 seconds. They matched that with the smoke. And the thing is, they didn't want to make that aggro peak into 90 into the fire and take in unnecessary damage. So they waited 13 seconds, smoked it again, and then pushed it. What's that smoke player gonna do? Cons had no way to lift that because look at this. Smoke cover, push on break room door, push on 90.
Yeah.
And then at the very end in the 5v1, they lose one player, they instantly sprint back outside Armory because Sport is playing cover while his teammate went deep. They're not risking a loss in that 5v1. Disciplined.
A key word that Super said in that tactical timeout was patience, and that's what we saw from Shopify Rebellion just then, particularly what you said around the smoke and the fire. It makes me think back to Cafe. I don't remember which player it was. I think it might have been someone from NIP on the Glaz in Bakery that made an entrance.
Yeah.
And they, as soon as the smoke goes off, right, you know there's probably someone making a play around that smoke, so you can smoke bang it, right? If a smoke goes off and nothing happens for 10 seconds, and then another smoke goes off in the same place, you don't know when they're making that move. You don't know when to pre-fire. If you're the Clash, you could just activate your taser and look into the smoke, but not for that long.
That's the thing.
Patience rewards Rebellion.
And pattern recognition, right? We can all recognize a pattern where you pop a smoke, you go in instantly. So now people pop a smoke, they wait 3 seconds, then they go in. But we all recognize that, so now you wait with the smoke bang sometimes to counter that waiting. It's this whole mind game of back and forthness that happens at a high level. So you're right, doing things a little bit differently, off pace. It's illogical in the mind of the person that thinks it's wrong, but it's super logical in the mind of the person who does it. So different brains, they will just do things differently. And it's why it's important to have a very big mix of players. You know, we talk about the longevity of Troy Canadian, but what about the rookiness of Ambi, right? He sees the game so differently from Troy, and they can share that vision and combine a really strong one together. Surf though, vision of his own. Can't see much but drones this round. He's dead now on the demo, so they lose a player early. But note NIP's lineup. This screams we adapted. They're playing traps, they're playing info, they're playing in-your-face gameplay, they're playing shield counter on the Oryx. So no more bunkering down, no more waiting around. They want to fight Rebellion on the map.
Canadian knows
somewhere in
around
there
somewhere, but he doesn't want to reveal his drone position because he doesn't want Hates to move. Dokkaebi call rings out. Ambi looking to cut from one angle, reveals his position. The Azami Keeper barrier, though, is isolating this angle, preventing that angle from the
easy stairs.
What's the play here to try and get rid of Hates? They have to walk into crossfires one way or another, and he's so close around the corner. And he's worried about Pino inside a bathroom, and Hates will up and take his head off. That gives NIP the advantage now. As Spoit looks to try and reply, he does find one, and immediately back outside the building. It's time for a reset for Rebellion.
Very scrappy. I think they recognize that, hey, they must have given up top floor control. There's 2 people beneath, the Asami and the Valkyrie. Either top floor is fully clear, or we can 3v1 the last player. That's gonna be Cons, hiding in Fountain, literally proning in the corner. If he gets spotted, he'll be as good as dead. But if he goes undroned, he should be able to at least get 1 kick.
And Canadian's about to walk right past him. Spoit tempted to go inside.
They're waiting.
They are cautious. But there's no other Dokkaebi call, if I'm not wrong. It's already been expended.
There is not.
So how are they going to try and drone up the top floor before they go for an execute?
If they could hack the cameras, they actually have a Val cam right next to him in archives that could maybe see or hear him. But they're too far away. The kills happened elsewhere. They can't get those hacks.
Oh, Rexon moved down the east stairs, exposed himself. And now Pino's in such a tight position. Takes a lot of damage from Canadian. Moving in from waiting. Player down. But guess what? Still upstairs. We have Hate. And Canadian now on the bomb site. He needs to tuck in and find the Azami, but Hates holds the line. Map point claimed by NIP and a chance to send us the distance.
This is where Troy is truly gonna get tested. Is it gonna be the bunker setup, nice and slow, methodical? Is it gonna be them fanning out on the map, finding you on the entries? They have to now spend a couple extra seconds both in drone phase and when the round first begins to figure out, okay, what style of NIP are we up against? 1, Rebellion need the right operators for the setup, but 2, they need the right playstyle and mentality going into each and every single round. They were caught off guard when Surf died early last one because they're probably expecting them, they're not gonna swing, they're playing Tucker down, right? No, they're not. They were in East stairs, they're fighting you on the entries. They've changed the game plan again.
I gotta say, I'm impressed by NIP. They performed far exceeding their expectation, especially after Cafe. Very much were in control. And look, just to add another point to that, I mean, NIP, yeah, they've struggled so far in the tournament. They're coming in cold because they haven't played a game since groups. I heard that Wizard this morning is deathly ill and I heard we might have to have a technical pause if he needs to run off mid-game because he's that unwell. He's 1-8 right now. NIP are essentially playing 4v5 once the round begins.
Hey, 4.5 and 5, okay? 4.5. He's still doing stuff, and he's playing a lot of utility operators, putting stuff down, probably calling or watching cams, hopefully. He's still very much still in this, and he hasn't left anywhere.
It's true. I mean, massive respect to him, to be honest. Like, I know how hard it is to do anything when you're unwell.
Oh, it sucks.
But he's really giving it his all for NIP. And it's what's getting them across the line here.
I mean, everyone else, right? 10, 9, 7, and 7 kills between the four of them. Like, they are just all putting up an equal effort. They have to. They have to match Rebellion in so many different areas of the map. There is that extra drone time that I spoke about, right? Getting the twitch, spending some time in spawn, taking it nice and slow, recognizing, guys, they're holding break. They're in 90. They got the Solus. This is a fighting strat. We have to be very mindful of how we take our gunfights and where we take our gunfights. The bomb set will be easy. The roam clear will be difficult.
Hates has been so
What's
good
pointing?
in this army.
He's pointing. Look.
I don't think anyone's looking, Sport.
I'm pretty sure he's probably visualizing himself and where people should be going. I'm not sure. He's communicating, that's for damn sure.
They're gonna hard clear Hates because it's a hard
I don't think they can. Again, there's no capital, there's no shield. Monty was fanned away. They're mostly just stuck right by the eastern door and on the exterior of the building.
Trying to bait him. They're trying to get him to move,
waiting for a swing.
NIP are doing a hold not too dissimilar to Rebellion with these castle barricades.
And look at this. 2 people CCTV, 1 can run away, 1 can hide by desk. Fantasy and 90 as the middle link.
By the time Rebellion eventually cleared break room, Hates was nowhere to be seen, is relocated to monitors.
Time's going to be an issue here for Rebellion. They're making very slow but steady progress, I will say that. It looks like they might try and go for that same take they did before. Breach archives, hold very limited area of the map, and go for a bathroom plant attempt. But they have no soft destruction. They have no way in towards the bomb set. They have no way to plant either without a shield, unless they just smoke planted. That's the last time we're going. That's the only soft destruction that they have.
It's a vault hole. Pino is still holding on to Archives. While you've got the pulse above, there's nothing you can do on the side. Fantasy's gone for a flank as well. He's just dropped into bathroom. He's right around the corner from Canadian.
Well, they don't know.
He's found one. Immediately the line will roar. Canadian will trade. A much-needed kill to keep Rebellion alive on border.
Good push. That's it. Could be a smoke plant right now. Cons Warden stuck upstairs. Has C4, drops down. Can't deny the plant.
Can he get to it in time? The Nitro cell not active, but Canadian fakes out the plan, and Hates has found one.
Has a C4.
Patience here for NIP is lending them the success that they've been deemed for. Rexon and Surf now need to clutch up, and they find the first. Cons is down, but Hates has been untouchable on the Azami. No util to speak of. It's up to Rexon to get that diffuser back and look for a plan. Surf is low HP, but so is Hates. And it comes down to the Azami to clutch up. A lot of damage, but Surf finds the critical kill. Shopify Rebellion continue battling on border.
Down to the very last second. So many moving parts in that round. To me, the biggest thing is actually that Shopify Rebellion did the thing that NIP could not. But first, an NIP tack timeout.
Que Arsenal ali, mano. A gente só não ganhou porque o Hates ficou se matando ali na passarela sozinho à toa, tá ligado? Beleza. Que nenhum. Não sei porquê, tá ligado? Então acho que o que a gente faz, mano? Vamos fazer Arsenal de novo. Faz com você de Azami de novo, Hates. Só que passa pra porra da banana. Tá. Beleza? Agora eu posso fazer o round de sombra, tá? Então, então faz de smoke aí. Qualquer coisa a gente bate. Então, qualquer coisa a gente usa. Não, pega aí você smoke. Porque qualquer coisa a gente bate forte lá, tá ligado? Com a Zami, tapando a passarela. Que nem uns loucos, tá ligado? Tá. Aí, ô Contos, não sei o que você pode pegar, mano. Talvez um Arden se pá, mano, pra gente ter 2 C4s ali no arsenal, tá ligado? Pra mim é o que faz mais sentido, entendeu?
Pode ser. Posso pegar
e pra eles não smocarem também, eu já pulso o Pino já usa, tá ligado? Então acho que é isso que a gente faz. Se a gente vê que eles estão por de palete, mano, só a gente jogar, mano, recuado pro quadrado, tá ligado? Ou a gente tira ele full.
The big thing for me right there is how Rebellion cleared archives. When Rexon played in that position, they would nade first, breach after. Rebellion, they would breach first, then grenade. And we saw how effective that was. There's nowhere to run, because if you go far away, the angle on the window sees you, and if not, the nade finds you. You see right here. What do you do?
Exactly.
Breach first, nade after. NIP did it in the wrong order, and they lost that round, but that changes everything. Canadian then, the old man, as we say, steps up on the entry and trades back his teammate.
Hates has been scary, though. He made that clutch look possible, especially with Cons helping out. But eventually, Surf, who had 4K in the round, by the way, he stepped up to another level. The backbone of this roster, the support main.
Heartbreak.
For NIP, it's just another round that has slipped by.
And it's for elimination, right? Rebellion, they have a map in the tank. They can go third map and be okay. They can mentally reset every single round for NIP right now. It matters so much more. Because if they go into overtime, they lose, they're out of the tournament. If they win this map, they have this newfound momentum, newfound confidence to take it to that third.
Spawn peak on match point. Cons putting that pressure on. Though we can't deny, I mean, NIP are really feeling that right now. They're feeling the mounting pressure of being on the verge of elimination. Rebellion need to exercise patience. That's exactly what their coach Seth said in their tactical timeout a number of rounds ago. Now NIP have just taken their own tactical timeout. What do Rebellion do? One last chance to push overtime. Otherwise, it's Lair.
So again, this nice and steady pace. They want to get to the end round. They know that that's where they're so strong. The coordinations, the timings of pushing upstairs and beneath at the same exact moment in that previous clutch. So NIP, they can either disrupt Rebellion early, find a pick, and really destroy their pacing, or they can fall back and just keep numbers even on that 5v5 and try and play the bomb side, but that will be difficult up against operators like the Blackbeard, Dokkaebi, and Deimos. A flash goes out, Call as well. Sport wants to play the sound cues if they gave up control of break room or not, but Hate is sticking around.
One of the first times we've seen the Deimos back from Surf. A fluffed nade from Canadian. Surf is going to have to help out from down below, but Canadian just jumps straight into Hates. Ambi will trade, but he's taken a hell of a lot of damage, and Wizard is still upstairs. Pino's not far. We need Rebellion to get a handle on CCTV. As they get aggressive, desperation begins to set in.
Ambi's fighting for his life, takes down Wizard, who's
big nitro. It's Ambi who will have to do it all.
He's 1 HP, James.
3 kills to find. Fantasy is low as well, but that gas. One whiff and Ambi is a dead man. 50 seconds to play with. He's got the diffuser and he's got a phenomenal weapon. No flashes left, however. As a Selma goes out, NIP know exactly how to play this. Years of experience in Brazil and on the world stage. They look to push us to a third map, and Cons will take matters into his own hands. Shopify Rebellion might have dominated them on Cafe, but we have a series on our hands on Border.
Expectations well met. There was a map difference between Cafe and Border that really made the difference, fitting NIP's playstyle so much better. The question is, but how long can you keep this up for? Well, there's only one map left. Stick around. We'll be back very shortly.
And just in regulation, NIP clinched their way back in this matchup, but we need another map to determine who's going to get sent home. The overall conclusion from this map, though, has to be that NIP's teamwork seems so much better.
It does. They're playing a lot more well-rounded. We got players like Pino stepping up. Everybody from NIP is performing a little bit better, but can't help but feel like this is SR's game to lose. And it looks like mistake after mistake when it comes to their defenses, to their attacks. The exact same things that we saw them lose that Falcons game. And round 6 was a big proprietary of that. I mean, just giving up the site completely in a 5-on-5 man adjustment. Yes, little mistakes like this. Can you expect Cons to be able to make it into the site? No. But that shouldn't be happening in the first place. There should be some type of information to get a pinpoint on it. And the kills after the post plant was the biggest blunder. It didn't look like there was really 2-on-1s to be able to get trades back. And unfortunately, it is a very difficult retake to do in general. But that being said, it shouldn't have happened. If it does happen, what are the fail-safes? It didn't seem like SR had those questions answered. And NIP just was able to scrape some rounds away and get their map.
We can have a look at the map summary as well to see the numbers from this game, because as we talked about, 12 rounds, it got really close. But if you look at this, Lexing, what do the numbers tell you?
I mean, the numbers tell me a lot here that the synergy and the synchronization between NIP was there. I mean, we didn't really get to see that there on the first map, but something I really want to point out is those entries, especially from one map to the next. First map, they only had 4 entry kills going into their favor. This time, they would have 8 out of those 12 rounds, converting 6 of those. So it really goes to show that they were playing that aggressive nature that we'd love to see from this NIP, but they were being coordinated. And then especially we've highlighted Cons. He had success. So their IGL is finding his tempo, finding his rhythm, and that's what we need going into this last and final map.
And everybody across the board was getting the opening kills, as opposed to map 1. It was just Fantasy that we saw.
Correct.
And that was the biggest issue. And now you're going to a map like Lair, where you have to be a lot more proactive on how you're able to approach the attack. It needs to be teamwork orientated. Every time we see NIP play it, and they have Fantasy on the demos below, that's where things scramble. They don't have anybody to be able to trade Fantasy. They need to be more cohesive on their entry altogether, focusing on those trades, because those are the aspects that it's shown that SR will give them opportunities to be able to execute and get the site from them. NIP just can't make those mistakes.
Now, I want to start focusing on this final map, because it essentially comes down to a best of one, whether you stay in the tournament or get sent home. We're going to Lair. What do we want or need to see from our teams?
If I'm NIP, what I need to see is exactly where D+ exploited them, especially on their attacks. The last time they played this, they would lose, and this is SR. They would lose it to D+, 7-4, and they would not be able to find success on those attacks. They only won 2 of those attacking rounds, despite they had all the entry kills going in their favor. So if I'm NIP, I'm looking at that matchup, looking at what I just did in Border, get that opening pick, play into those layers, play into those crossfires, force SR's hand, and then just absolutely put the foot on the back of the neck and shut out these rounds.
If you're SR, it's a lot slower of a map. The information game is something that we've been seeing Canadian run with the Pulse. I believe that's the same ideology. They have a better game plan like they did on Cafe. They just need to make sure that they're not just giving up the site, play a lot more together.
It is just one map to determine if you stay in the tournament or go home, and that final map is Lair.
Ninjas in Pajamas saw in Munich that they can indeed take down Shopify Rebellion, despite the social community really favoring the North Americans. Don't forget, Shopify Rebellion fans, you guys got knocked out in Munich by NIP.
Whoa, don't make it personal now.
Okay. Just saying, this is a chance at revenge for the NA roster. It's time to lock in. If you're NIP and Shopify Rebellion, elimination on the line. Two Six Invitational winners fight for survival in the first round of the lower bracket. Pino and Canadian, so much experience. They go head to head. A revenge opportunity for Rebellion, and NIP look for redemption for a miserable group stage. It comes down to the third map of Lair.
It's crazy how the conversation has changed so quickly. Going into this, NIP, they were a team that lost to everybody except for Felix, who's been so weak this tournament. Going up against Shopify Rebellion Cafe, they were outmatched in terms of gun skill, strategy, communication, and even the operator ban phase. And then we go into Border, and it's a different beast from the side of NIP. But what happens on Lair? It's nothing like Cafe, it's nothing like Border. It's very much, if anything, a mixture of them both into a single map. It really means that this is going to be anybody's game to take.
Wizard looks like he's struggled
Gated
today
by
a little bit.
attackers.
We saw that on border. We know he's been a little bit under the weather, but you know who hasn't struggled? It's the SI debutant, Hates. His first Six Invitational, and border we can largely attribute to his success on the Azami, disrupting Rebellion.
And just staying alive for so long every round.
Now, he's on an even more critical operator, arguably, in this first round of Flare. One of the few maps that we really look to Tachanka to save Clan Denial, and in tandem with Pino on the smoke, the clash, this is going to be such a challenging plan for Rebellion.
The only thing that they're missing, if you're not bunkered down even harder, is maybe a bandit instead of the mute, and maybe a Wamai or a Jaeger. But then, you know, our operator line gets very thin. Where's the Asami? Where's the C4s? You're missing a lot of those kinds of things. Bandit, of course, often dying first. So instead, they bring the mute for a bit of drone and wall denial. Also for the Deimos trackers, I'm sure. Dokkaebi calls, etc. by the site itself. And Shepard Rebellion, to start things off, will be tested in their pacing. If you're too slow in the early stage of this round, you will be locked out by Tachanka smoke. However, if you're too quick and you lose a body on the roam clear, or the entry rather, then also means you don't have enough guns to punish the bomb site. So it really comes down to a fine line, similar to border, where they have to do things at the right speed and the right safety.
The one good thing I will say about this mute is it does give a little bit of safety against Ambi. You can see where Fantasy's playing right now.
Yeah.
He's walking all over these mute jammers so that he can't be detected from below by Ambi. And as we see the track coming through, this should get stopped as soon as Fantasy stands on that jammer. The death mark will fail.
Yeah.
Ambi has to figure out what else he's going to do.
It's very smart. He's gonna swing the breach, actually. A wide swing at that. He's by the reinforced wall, but there's a red ping. Clash might need to escort him back.
Out go the Grimm's Bees, and that will not be jammed by the mute jammer. And so Sport is allowed to punish Fantasy as he looks to try and fall back towards the bomb site. With a Candela going out and some of the Grimm's Bees, Rebellion now look to try and lock off the site with the Rayora and take control of Mezzanine.
Yeah, take the hallway first, then breach the wall later, as they cannot shoot them. Mind you, they do bring spare Harpies now. Can openers on Canadian as well, so in case Rexon would fall on the entry, they did bring backup this time around. Selma goes out. Now they're going to rotate a player. Rexon, who has nothing left in pocket, outside on the exterior breach to establish a crossfire with his teammates set up a plant.
And Canadian just opens straight up that Rayora gate. Look at Rebellion's positions. They are picture perfect. However, the danger game here is Hate on that Tachanka, but he's now been shot down. No more plant denial, 40 seconds to go, and NIP have already lost both the Tachanka and the smoke. Canadian forcing that diffuser down. Cons has to get a move on, but it's too late. And Wizard is not going to work any magic with the Azami now. He's about to get targeted by that Deimos as he's spotted from outside the breach. A flawless round for Rebellion. It doesn't get much more picture perfect than that.
Come on, Sif, lock in, dude.
That was literally like a coach's wet dream, that round.
No, it was. Everything was working. I mean, the pace was good, but so was the risk-taking. They get opening pick, they use the utility early to get that advantage, to then hit the bomb site, and then again, they have enough time, they have numbers advantage, and they also have different win conditions. Deimos below, disrupting both the shield of Tachanka and that position, the Clash walking about, the Grimby spotting every single player in the server. The fallback here from Fantasy, I have to be a little bit critical here, he blatantly trolled it. Because what you can do when you have operators like the Clash, like the Monty, you can escort your teammate back. If you just walk literally hand in hand with the Clash and walk together backwards, he will be fine. And he is sprinting out of there like he was about to die in the very same second. Clash was fine. And if you're by the Clash, who's fine, you're also fine. It's not like you're getting thrown C4s at you that explodes immediately, right? So a little bit of a troll moment there, a bit of panic there from Fantasy, but it goes to show how much pressure that Shepard building and applying both horizontally and vertically. And the mute pick was practically inefficient. Like, we didn't really see much of a counterplay, and Ambi did a great job just shooting things open with the pistol, knowing the tracker probably isn't gonna work.
It's classic Rebellion, isn't it? When they play their best game, they look like they could be a world-beating team, and yet sometimes they completely drop the ball, as we saw a few times in the group stage. Let's not forget, I mean, they lost to FaZe, they lost to D+.
1-7, 1-7, 1-7, 3 times against 2 different opponents, FaZe and D+. Some tough games up against them.
Back in the day, the Rebellion roster when they played under the Sonics team. They got top 8 at Montreal, top 6 in Sao Paulo at Six Invitational, top 4 in Copenhagen and Jönköping. We know that this team is capable of very great things, but the last 12 months has been disappointing. Munich, an early exit, only top 14. EWC, top 8, but back in Boston, top 16. Rebellion are capable of so much more than that. And they're set to prove it. Paris.
And many would say going into this that this might be one of their events where they make a deep run, but if they want to make a deep run, they have to win here first and start that lower bracket run. It's going to be a long tournament for them. Right now, they're looking pretty good on pace. They're in deep garage. They breached the single wall. They're in missile, looking towards Solarium. Again, really good bit of map control. A very limited take. With one person watching above and 4 people working together down beneath.
Wow, very split up, but so many good power operators. The Candela is shot. The smoke goes out as well. Surf is clearly baiting something here. This is not a full play.
No Goyo, actually.
Idea for Rebellion.
That clears the hard right corner. The grenade can force back the Lucy. Maybe give a swing to the Grim.
Okay, he's got to be careful. A lot of damage done. A lot of the util goes out as well. The Grim Beast do support. And so they spot the Malusi Wizard forced back, but Fantasy finds one. Good trade by Spoit as Canadian makes his way forward, straight into the crossfire. Cons shuts him down. And the Fenrir's made things hella awkward. A trade immediately back again, and Spoit is on the floor. Surf with the shotgun is the last one standing. And as he runs through the smoke, he is choked out by Cons. Solid lock-in for NIP. Shopify Rebellion did not have the teeth that they thought they did on that attack.
The Fenrir mines, the nearsightedness, the crossfires from deep within the bomb site and even vertically. It's why that horizontal push can be so difficult to pick to pull off successfully. And I was gonna say, if there was a Goyo, you can really stall out the attackers and kind of cut them off with their supportive, but there was no Goyo. NIP, just they held their guns. But this Fenrir, it affected 3 different attackers throughout that round, all making this push impossible.
They only got 1 kill that round in Rebellion, which, to be fair, is well, it's better than what NIP did in the first round. So Rebellion started with a perfect attack on the top floor. Rebellion got a perfect attack on the top floor. NIP then replied with a near-perfect defense downstairs. As it often does, it comes down to this tertiary site, how to split the difference.
5 seconds to go.
And, I mean, this is one of my favorite sites in the game. It's so interesting to see the way that it plays out, the way that teams hold it from above.
Funny enough, it's funny, this bomb site, for the longest time, had the highest pick rate of both Solus and the Sense on attack and defense. And we are going to see the Sense be brought out immediately, but no Solus.
The Solus is very much in the meta right now. Wow, Hayes, what are you doing? Spawn peeking?
He's peeking.
I mean, at least he's an operator that's already set down his utility. Ah, yes. A spawn peek. Or was he just running past?
Surely he's peeking at it. Yeah.
Disappointing for NIP to have to fight this 4v5. This bomb site, you really need a lot of numbers to hold onto that extra map control.
Yeah.
And with Fantasy falling, this is pretty much in the bag for Rebellion. You can't really fumble a 5v3.
I mean, you can always throw around, James. You can do it to 5v1. So
man.
They gotta lock it in now and not risk anybody going solo. Use the body system, right? Everyone has a body near them. You go 2v1, you go 2v2, you fight together. The side is weak, the roam is weak, everywhere is weak as long as you utilize this big advantage. But if you give them 1v1s, then the man advantage doesn't matter. So I want to see Rebellion go for an execute very much together. They can either choose to hit the side or hit the roam. By the looks of it, they want to take upstairs control.
Yeah, which is perfect, but it actually gets jammed out by that mute. Which was a good idea.
That's the phone, by the way.
There you go, you mentioned that before. Oh, is there going to be an angle here?
There's an angle.
Wow, poor Surf. Exposed. And from Skybridge, Cons takes it 1 step closer to evening up the scoreline.
A little bit surprised that despite the early pick on New Bridge, they don't want to go there and take 30 seconds to hack the call, the phones for free rather. So instead, first call goes out, can't hack the cams whatsoever, and they still are very insistent here on the top floor. They want to take it. They've committed the Heart Breach, they've committed the Grim Bees. They've spent too much util to not take this.
Yeah. Rexon could also just take out that bulletproof camera now that
All
his
3 are above,
EMP
though.
would have removed his jamming effect.
There is a gap here.
Is there really? Because they can deny the plant from above.
Yeah, but mind you, the attackers can see half of it, so with the right location of a plant attempt, I think it completely works. He's gonna cut the crosses here.
Feels risky for me.
Yeah, this is very risky. I don't like this anymore.
I know exactly where Cons is on the stairs, and someone is looking for a
now it's
backstab.
good.
Rexon's in position. He can cut off the staircase position.
So they watch the bit of vert, they go in below, and they watch the flank.
Critical fight. They know where he is now. All three of these players above. Canadian needs to get inside, look for a plant opportunity as Pino drops down below. Canadian will catch him, and look now for a plant. A smoke grenade on the stairs. They need to be careful because Wizard can see through the smoke, but Spoit drop shots him, and Rexon covers his position on the stairs. Beautiful conversion of the 5v3 for Shopify Rebellion.
Again, it goes to show the level of depth that Rebellion they have, right? How they play that 5v3, it's very strategic, where they say we can leverage numbers advantage by attacking from a lot of different positions, locking down the flank, holding just a little bit of the vertical area so we don't get killed from above, and then work the bomb set itself, exposing those weaknesses and those gaps in the defense. If they hadn't gotten those first 2 picks in the 5v5, that round would have played out completely different.
And now the Azami ban finally comes through from Rebellion. Hates has given them such a headache on border, and look, the Azami is such a powerful operator here. It's been played every single round by 3 different players on NIP. I think it was the right play to ban out that operator.
It's funny because like Azami is like a universally every bomb site very playable operator, whereas you can target ban something that's only being brought from maybe 1 or 2 of those defenses.
Like a Clash?
Like a Clash, for example, but that's also the scary part. After the 3rd round, when that final ban comes in, you can shift your entire chatbook and go, well, we've been hiding this operator for this time.
Yes, well,
You're hiding every operator this time. What?
You know what scares me here for Shopify Rebellion is what happens if NIP decide to really lean into the Tachanka and the smoke like they did in the first round of defense of that top 4, but they actually make it work. If you remember, Pino actually died really early before he'd used his smoke babes. And Hates died as well before he could use all of his Tachanka fire.
Sometimes there's too much pressure, and I will say this, Shopify Rebellion, they certainly can shoot back.
Quick rehost, by the way, guys, but we'll be back into it before you know it. We're attacking that top floor, and of course the players can change operators once we get into it, but from what we saw, it was almost the same lineup for NIP as the first time around. Almost. Well, the different one was that the fact that we brought the Bandit instead of the Mute, and also the Denari instead of the Azami. But particularly that Bandit is the one that you mentioned you were very curious about.
I like it because it adds, and this is the thing that I love about Rebellion so much. They have different win conditions, right? They're gonna have this operator can do well at roam clearing, this one gets the information, and that one gets the plant down, for example. For NIP, when you don't bring the Bandit, you cannot have a win condition around denying the hard breach destruction. That means no matter what happens, Rebellion will open up the walls. By playing the Bandit, you're now introducing a new element where you can now penetrate the walls and stop them. So now Rebellion have to send a guy downstairs and look for the verticality, but you know that, so you do that before they do. In prep phase, you send down a roamer downstairs protecting the Bandit verticality, and now the whole thing changes. The first step of being outside the building, breaching a wall, becomes a battle in the middle of the building down beneath the bomb site, where you can support that roaming defender with an echo drone, verticality, even the Clash if you wanted to. And if you deny them from opening up those walls, you basically increase your win rate from like 50% to, let's say, 85% of defense.
Honestly, I think you could probably forfeit that position on the mezzanine into ops room, which is where they fought last time, and instead just try and really fortify Hates on the Bandit inside of side, protecting not only the external wall, but that internal wall onto rafters as well with the Bandit. And I think you need mute jammers for him, because we saw Ambi play the Deimos last time around.
Well, if you play the roamer downstairs, Ambi can't thrive beneath him. That's one, because the issue is, right, you only get 5 operators. The issue that they had last time is that Asami was not banned, so they want to play the Asami. Now that's been banned away, then they replace one operator, the Asami, with the Denari, and then they go from Mute into Bandit. Now the strat works the same, but the win con has changed.
Yeah, I'm not sure. According to my my notes here, I'm not sure if this is correct, but it looks like they actually played both Denari, Bandit, Mute,
What's the mate as well? So
and
no
Smoke
Tachanka.
and Clash. It was the Tachanka that they said goodbye to.
Okay, I actually thought it was the way around.
I don't love. I think Tachanka is great. I just think they played it badly.
Well, if the... So the Mute now helps with the Dokubi, the demos, whatever. And then you're gonna have Tashanka is really good if the breach gets opened up and they start planning default. But other than that, it gets a bit tricky with Tashanka. And you don't have a gun, you have your Shurima launcher. So now you have more guns up, you deny more information technically from the side of Shopify Rebellion. It's a different way of playing it. It's not bad, it's not good, it's just a different way of doing it.
The thing that scares me about if you do sub off the mute is, yes, you can have a roamer contest the Deimos below, but I'm pretty confident Ambi's going to kill that roamer and then just start on the vert anyway. If that roamer is just...
That's the thing.
One solo player, like, especially, none of these operators shout out to me as an obvious choice for a roamer to hold on down below. I'd be a little bit scared for NIP trying to contest.
Mind you, when you pick the bandit, your goal is not necessarily just to guarantee the walls don't get opened, it's to guarantee it takes longer time. Because if they gotta go downstairs first, then go back upstairs, you might get yourself 40 to 60 seconds of extra time burn as a defender. And if you reduce that, 60 seconds in the previous attacking round, timer gets kind of low. So it's one of those like you're forcing to speed up the pace.
I know you're looking at our second monitor.
I think we're gonna need to have another host
to just peek behind the curtain for you guys. Music comes back. We just rehost. We just got back to the game, but unfortunately we didn't have the band set, so we're just gonna have to rehost again. It'll take like a minute. Trust me, guys. We'll be right back into it.
That's not what I was worried about. One of the defenders that I saw, I was thinking that's a different kind of operator.
What did you see?
I saw a Kavera.
Oh, really?
And I was like, surely that's a mispick or something, right? Right?
I think that they were just wanting to rehost.
I think so. Ambi called the rehost before the operators got picked, so I think they got auto picked or whatever. Just kind of.
Yes.
Yeah. But I was like, from this whole talk about the bandit, the vacancy, the layers, to let's just play Kavera. That would have been a bit of a switch up.
There's nothing quite like having a 5-minute conversation, analyzing around, and then being like, no, they're just gonna run it.
Yeah, just gonna full send. I mean, the funny thing about, you have casters, you have pro players, you have analysts, and you have the fans watching at home. And everyone is gonna view these rounds differently. Oh, I think they should have done this, or I think they won or lost this round for this reason. And you can be right, you can be wrong, but I also think there's this middle ground of we're telling a different story or we're looking for a different thing. You can look around and go, NIP played that so well, I can't believe it. But someone's like, actually, Rex would have hit 3 headshots normally, so they shouldn't have won that. You can argue whatever you want, and you all see, like, I know I'm not a regular sports kind of guy, but I have friends who watch, like, let's see, football, soccer, whatever you call it, and they go, oh yeah, this player, if he just did this thing instead, they would have won the game, they would have scored this goal. I'm like, bro, you can't even run 5 kilometers. Like,
my
what do you
grandmother had wheels, she'd be a bike.
No, it's one of those where it's like the couch spectators, right? But
armchair analysts, that's what we are.
Armchair analysts,
we just have a mic.
We are as well, and we're taking the story. And there was this time when we cast Shopify Rebellion on Border, we painted this incredible story that ended up being false. And I learned that in a heartbreaking way. I checked back the VOD to watch back what happened, to analyze and prepare for this game. Remember when Surf was injured and he sacrificed life by crawling in and bleeding out for the yellow ping for Canadian in the clutch?
Yeah, where was that?
Bulletproof camera.
Oh.
It wasn't Surf. It was a bulletproof camera in Armory that spotted him. Surf just died due to timing. But watching it, the observers showed Surf bleeding out, crawling away. That only makes sense to me if he's crawling for information. So I was like, okay, he's crawling in to yellow ping for the Canadian to get the 1v1 clutch with the wall bang. And we both bought into it. It was a bulletproof camera that was there the entire time that 3 defenders were watching and they were pinging from.
Look, we have a couple of different observers like in the same game, but even they can't catch everything. They can do their job perfectly.
Exactly.
But there are 10 different perspectives going on at any one time. And at this level of Rainbow Six, like, there is so much going on. Anyone who watches the game and thinks they understand everything and get the full picture, you just don't.
And we don't have the comms from the players either, right?
Even like, Canadian is going to see a very different perspective of the game to Pino on the other side.
Exactly. So my point was just that we're all watching the same game, but we're all experiencing different things.
Very much so.
And I think often it's not a matter of right or wrong. It's about the story that you believe in, that you want to tell, that you see.
Yeah. And for us, we're really focusing on what's happening with this bandit. And it looks like you were right. They actually have decided to forego the mute. So the weakness here is the vulnerability to Deimos, but Rebellion have actually completely foregone the Deimos again.
Interesting.
So they also got rid of the Rayora. So I'm wondering, are they even going to go for an offside take? Or maybe they have something else cooking?
Denari into Ella as well. It serves very much as a similar operator, like similar weapon. They both can bring the deployable shield, but Ella has impacts.
Both trappers.
Both trappers, of course. That's the main reason.
But
But
Rebellion are still looking for Vert. They're just going Buck instead of Deimos.
so I really want to see a roamer downstairs supporting Fantasy's Bandit, but Ambi has fully taken this in 30 seconds, mind you. And this is where I feel like NIP, they dropped the ball. Why are you playing the Bandit if you're not going to protect them at all? Because Ambi can pop the floor, shoot the Bandits, and now we're back to the exact same scenario of they can't deny the breach. And look, one box shell.
They're going to forfeit the outside breach, so they can't even protect the inside breach.
That's what I mean. So now the entire Bandit is just a C4.
It's fallen all the way back.
But if you want a C4, you can play many better operators, whether it's going to be the Pulse, the Valkyrie, the Mute, whatever. So again,
He put 2 batteries on the same wall of ops, and he didn't put 2 on the external wall? Well,
there's
did one get shot?
yeah, 2 external and 2 ops wall, nobody internal. He blocked 1 and then breached it.
Did one... Oh, he what?
He only has 4, right? So he put 4 on the ops wall.
No, but how did the first Bandit battery...
He blocked it.
Oh, blocked it from below?
Yeah, right there with the ball break.
No contest.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, if they had sent a player downstairs,
Waste of a Bandit.
then Ambi solo drones in, drone gets shot. Now they go, guys, there's a roamer downstairs, I need help. That means 1 or 2 other attackers have to rotate over to help Ambi and stop taking another portion of the map, and that slows the game down. Now it's an instant take, they get rocket stairs control, they got the main breach, they got exactly what they wanted from last time, with the exception of the raw aura, but they have the sense instead.
This is a dream for Rebellion.
Yeah.
They've cleared out some of the Elemines as well on the bathroom using grenades from Surf.
No, this drone is...
Fantasy is just absolutely cooked here. The Ella is looking to try and retake Ambi, but he's already had his impact, so it doesn't really matter if he dies. In the late round, Wizard might be able to deny vertically is the only concern for Rebellion. But out comes the fire. And a reply from Sploit with some of the light walls from the Sands, but the clash starts to get active.
Yeah.
This will enable this plant denial to continue as the nade will miss Canadian. Wizard has found his fight on Ambi down below, which means he can vertically deny the plant now. Rebellion have to go deep. They have to find lots of frags in order to make this one happen. 24 seconds to play.
They're indeed constantly the intel for the Sense wall because you can see and the wall bangs come through because of it.
And it's just not going to work for Rebellion, is it? They did not have enough ingredients to make this execute happen. They were too slow and they did not have any form of a response for the clash. They couldn't plant safely because of the threat of Wizard below. And as a result, NIP just push and push until Rebellion fall back on their faces.
The 2 very big things happen there. First of all, Cons is the round MVP on the Clash because the second those Sense projector walls came out, he was going really aggressive past the safety line, if you will, to say, guys, they're not in, don't stress about the plant location, okay? Have your guns up. And secondly, we saw it, the Ella flanking downstairs, taking down the verticality of Ambi on the Buck because that's the moment to counter the Clash, right? You block her from beneath. That's where she's vulnerable. But it's also one of those, like, if you lose that 50-50 gunfight downstairs, Rebellion likely win the round. So everything gets decided, technically, on that singular gunfight. It's a very risky playstyle, but it works, it pays off. NIP, they're tying the score, and they're keeping up with Rebellion.
Yeah, I still don't really understand that round in my head. I'm like, Rebellion went from absolutely dominating NIP to then really just not having much of a response at all. I guess it goes to show the first time that Rebellion played that bomb site, a lot of the reason they won it was because they picked the smoke and they picked the Tachanka. Like, they just found those kills early on.
I feel like despite Lair having been out for a decent amount of time now, I still feel like it hasn't been, like, figured out.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like we've seen, you know, I don't know, 85, 90% perhaps, but I feel like there's still, like, that 10% unlocked potential. We're still not seeing a ton of verticality necessarily, nade lineups, smoke lineups, to the same level as other maps.
Well, look, we saw a cafe earlier today that looked very different in some rounds to the cafe that we've been seeing for the last 10 years. And the same story on Clubhouse, so a good map. Can certainly withstand the test of time. I really like that from Surf. It's just to protect anyone that's playing outside that breach from the Skybridge peak.
Break in here!
That tertiary bomb site. This time we see what we mentioned before, the Solace and Sense combination on 2 different sides. The reason why they go so well against and together is because often you'll do like a bit of a direct clear. You clear the bomb site itself. You open the external walls. You'll just sense, run in, go for a plant. Solus can overclock and see the difference between the projector walls because they have an icon and where the plant is going down. And no plant is actually safe from the verticality whatsoever. So
what?
It's one of those. He's
How's
injured.
Cons just died?
Did he?
On the mezzanine, he exposed himself to a player inside of Ops.
Or he turned his back to the half wall here. He got shot from lobby stairs, maybe. Either or.
That's rough.
That's a really bad death.
Not a player that you want to lose early, and Fantasy's gone down as well. 5v3 for Rebellion.
I mean, it makes top floor kind of... this is kind of what happened last time we played Tertiary. You lose 2 players early. Top floor is not super holdable. The bomb set's exposed. Rebellion can go for the exact same attack again on paper. Or they can surprise NIP and do something new.
Looking for intel.
What matters is just locking in these last few players, making sure that any kill comes that gets refragged back. Canadian's going for it in the close range.
Oh, he's reloading.
Oh my god, that's scary. Ambi thankfully is there to cover him, and Hates will go down. 5v2 now. It's all about the refrags. Wizard finds one, but immediately shut down by Ambi. And Shopify Rebellion find a second win on the tertiary bomb site very handily.
Of course, it's the oldest man in the game forgetting to reload, and one of the younger boys being like, I'm ready. I'm watching that angle. I got you. You saw the play though from Trard, right? I say, like, he really is getting active this tournament and getting in the battle more often than not. And great, again, use of utility, coordination, the timings.
The OG entry IGL.
Yeah. Everyone starts as an Ashman, okay? We've all been there. And then you turn your early 20s, mid-20s, Thermite, AC Bana looks a lot better.
Yeah, Grim is the new Ash.
Grim is low-key.
Not wrong.
I do think the opening kill has been one of the most important things in both Border and here and Lair.
Yeah, well, every round so far, a different team's won the opening kills. You know, Shopify Rebellion, NIP, Shopify Rebellion, NIP, Shopify Rebellion, and they've
the rounds
always converted it to a round win. There was only one round on the entire Border where NIP got the opening kill, but then lost the round. Every other round, it was converted to a win.
See a bit of a Scopos deep roam, perhaps, supported by the Echo drones. Now, this is what we call very new style Siege, but it was seen many years ago as well. It's one of those returning things, kind of like fashion.
Yes.
Or something that your mom had many years ago, now it's trending against it. Oh, I got
my
flares
are back?
Mine active.
A flare's back?
Flares are back.
Not sure what a flare is.
It's where the pants go like really wide.
Oh, the
bottom
flare.
out.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It was a very 70s
I've seen that.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you see. Echo feels that way to me a bit, because Echo was one of the most
Echo wears
present...
flares?
No, they're not, tactically viable. I feel like you get stuck in things and whatnot.
But Echo is coming back.
But Echo's coming back, whatever he's wearing. And
3 yokai drones, by the way.
One of the most present operators in defense for many years. And then he disappeared for a bit, and he was like occasionally brought. Now, I would argue, doesn't have the highest pick rate, but he has a lot of impact on pick. He has the potential for it.
Dude, every few years he just gets another drone. In 2040, he's gonna have 6 drones.
Oh. First smoke from Surf spent on the glass. The issue is, again, the yokai sees him. A pre-fire easy. He runs away. Has a good read. Probably heard it or something like that. He only has one more himself in pocket, though, so while he's taking some attention away from the defensive setup, it's just Pino battling 1v1 with the yokai drones. Meanwhile, Canadian entering barrels.
Nice.
Boy, great follow-up.
Looking for a second. Hell of a lot of damage done. The Wizard, who's not going to be able to escape with his life. Spoy claims them both with the SMG-12. Canadian on the floor, traded back. Rebellion have decided to turn it up. They've gone deep. 4v2 as they look to close this half with same scoreline.
Surf is still just waiting for his time to shine. He's outside that locker store. Still one smoke in pocket. Now we're resetting around. Maybe hack the cameras if you can with Dokkaebi. Get those flank drones set up. You don't want to throw this one. Again, discipline all the way through. They have so many win conditions. Dokkaebi call, Grimpies, glass smokes. So many ways to win this round. Only one way to lose it. That is if you throw.
Pino's looking for a gap. He's getting aggressive. Spots one, but misses his chance. Knows he's likely to get swung from behind. Wants to take the fight onto Spoid, but he has been so hot today.
Hack the cams.
Hell of a lot of damage done, and you're right, the cams have been hacked by Spoid. So all of the information on the bomb site is now working against NIP. Rexon finds Pino on the retreat. Cons yet to find a kill on Lair since the rehost. They know exactly where he is. He's trapped in the corner. Surf is coming for him straight through the smoke. He finds the kill despite not having the vision. And now he has a chance to reposition. But Rexon's forcing that plant down. A bit of damage onto Spoit, but they know exactly where he is. Again, he's getting pinged constantly by the bulletproof camera. His own team put down. A Rebellion have been so good on Lair. It's like harking back to Cafe. Rexon confirms the plant. Shopify Rebellion lock in a win in the first half.
That's that pace change that we spoke about before, right? They've been playing methodical, step 1, 2, 3 style siege. That was a blitz, though, could be in barrel window, rush, where they get 3 quick kills. And it's most down to Sport, getting the first entry of Canadians intel, then the Grim Bees in the garage hallway, just keeping up that pressure. Scobo's TB's back, the Yoga drones are there, but it's too little too late. And honestly, Surf distracting Echo Pino on the back portion probably is why that Yokan wasn't there for the blitz counter. This, again, the small things, right? Drawing attention. And then Surf being a very smart player, he was playing all the way back in spawn, not risking that 50-50 gunfight.
Canadian was sitting there inside of that room just staring at Hates for so long on the blitz. And that call was what enabled Spoit to jump in. Yep. You're right. Like, if that Yokai had been there, Canadian is dead. Spoit doesn't have a very favorable gunfight, and the round goes a very different direction. NIP 2-4 as they lose their defensive half.
Not sure how I feel about the halves on Lair just yet. Like, do you go 3-3? Do you go 2-4? I feel like it's very team dependent in general. But is there a clear divide here on the stats?
Let's have a look at SI as a whole. Lair is pretty close, actually. One of the closer maps, 47% attack win rate. So you would expect a 3-3 for the defensive side. If you're going to go 2-4 on your defense, yeah, you're not looking too good.
Okay.
It's not the most attacker side, not the most defender sided, but certainly still defender sided. NIP really have to turn it up to the next level. Now that they're on the attack, pick apart these Rebellion defenses. But Shopify Rebellion are just so good when it comes to these static, methodical, it makes logical sense defenses. Things like the Tachanka, things like the Bandit. We talked a lot about it in the first half. NIP didn't play into all that well, save for one round that the Tachanka did essentially win it for them.
Yeah, I was going to mention the clash, but NIP actually Bandit, feeling that pressure as well, that target. Very small thing there. Rexon was watching all the exterior default cameras for quite some time, hoping to spot an attacking operator or two, because that's going to change how they play this defense, right? They're expecting, I don't know, the glass, the in, the Dokubi, the blitz, the fast takes. Are they seeing something more fundamental? Like the box below, C4 over the edge there from the bomb site door, almost takes out Hates.
What happened to that Bandit battery? Why did it not die both times he shot it?
I didn't see. Oh, so was an explosion.
He tried to shoot the Bandit battery, and that kind of wasted enough time for Spoit to have a chance to get around it with the Nitro cell. Cons, though, has taken Mezzanine for free.
Yeah, completely. And bathroom as well. So that's kind of dangerous for Rebellion, because that's kind of the backbone. They're right by the bomb site now. But, I mean, they're relying upon the Bandit to do the tricking. And right now, there's no downstairs pressure. Yes, they have the stairs control. Yes, they have a Flores, a Sledge, but there's no buck. They might need to bounce a grenade or two in towards the Bandit instead, which honestly, it will get the job done, but you're risking a swing from Sport to get a kill.
It's the danger. The Sledge nade may help out, but it gets caught by the Magnet. Rebellion have layers to their defense. Serve can keep on tossing more out once they regenerate. I don't think there's another Magnet, though, as the second nade goes out. That will take down the Bandit battery, and Spoit has none left in pocket, so he's going to be a dead man in a moment. Exposed. An impact grenade comes out and destroys one of the charges, and he managed to shoot off the second.
No way in.
So it's just a line of sight here. Fantasy is going to have to swing the dangerous angle to take the fight onto Spoit. Down below, Cons might be able to find the kill, but he just misses.
Doesn't check the corner correctly. They should know he's still there. There's no way he crossed, right? Florestorm can actually get the job done as well, but the issue is there's no way in. He doesn't check the corner.
Wait, what?
He doesn't check the corner.
They've called it clear.
Really? They called it clear?
Cons must have called it clear, but he didn't check every angle.
Number 2.
Spoit could single-handedly win this round. They don't know where he is, and he finds Fantasy. No entry for NIP. Rebellion continue to hold the line. Spoit can find another. It's embarrassing for Ninjas in Pajamas. They haven't woken
Try
up
again.
this morning, and now Spoit looks for another one. Hates finally puts him down, but now the fire from Canadian should lock in the block side. NIP have no choice but to go deep. Surf is smurfing again, and Wizard has no chance. A first kill, but not the rest.
Good shit, Will. Let's go, Troyce.
Spoit has single-handedly dismantled that NIP attack.
That's a one-man job right there. He shot the second breach of the Selma. I mean, even if he died, you know, from the verticality, from the floor drone, whatever, they didn't have a way in. That changes the plan entirely for NIP because, okay, we cannot go for default plan A. But then he gets 2 kills. Stalls for so much time, it disrupts the entirety of that attack. It's beautiful. It was also Spoit's early C4, taking hits down to very low health here on the Blackbeard. Boom. There it goes. And it's why we speak about how strong the bandit can be and how important the hard destruction truly is. What did Rebellion always do? It was exterior wall first, then interior wall. That makes sure that no one can bandit trick or deny it whatsoever. By leaving that exterior wall and not open it up, that can happen. So they're skipping a small step, and it's a crucial step. And that's really where I think the difference between Rebellion and NIP in terms of stylistic choices, they differ the absolute most.
10 seconds
Rebellion
left
don't
before
skip the small
insertion.
things. They keep trying to do them and do them as good as they can. And NIP go,
5 seconds
I
left.
will try and walk around it. And it just, you can get punished because of that.
Cutting corners is risky business. Some teams are really good at it. Some teams make it their playstyle.
Yeah.
You take those calculated risks every day. But no, Rebellion are all about dotting those I's, crossing those T's. But they're about to be met with a lot of chaos. Look at this.
Yeah.
Glaz, Blackbeard. We need to see good prep work, though, from NIP here. If they use the Roteros from Flores, if they use the Twitch drones from Wizard to clear out all of this util, I mean, talk about Mira, Goyo, Malusi, even Valkyrie. If we can target a lot of this util with those 2 drones, then maybe NIP will have a solid shot. Also, you want to be getting that bulletproof camera that Spoit's brought to the table with that Twitch or Flores.
What is happening here?
Oh, it's trying to
Oh,
get
they
an angle.
see some toes.
No damage done.
That's the goal.
Oh, you lose the Twitch drone for it. That is not worth it.
Also a bit of time as well. Gotta get Blackbeard active on the entries. They can pop some goals early, fall back, or even... Okay, I mean, you're trading a nade with an impact right there, plus just burning 20
That's worth
seconds of
it.
time. That's super worth it. Especially because there's only 1 more nade on the attack inside, so again, limited self-destruction.
Wizard has not got value out of this Twitch drone either. The first one goes down without any destruction of the Goyo canisters or the mirror windows or Valkyrie cams. Sendins in the second one now. He really needs to make the most of this Twitch drone.
Here he goes. Pops 1 Goyo, that's actually pretty good. Ideally wants a little bit more though. Fine, get the mirrors. 1 more.
Oh, the bulletproof.
Left or right side? Which one? Okay.
If he had another drone, it would be so nice to send that in first just to scout. I don't know if they know that there's a mirror pick as well.
I might not have seen it actually.
And Hates is... Oh, no. He's going to lose this mirror. Surely mirror should find him. Wizard now, deep in the bomb site, looks for something else, but he does not find those mirror windows. There is, however, a breach on site. Spoit has an unbelievable Valkyrie camera here, thanks to Ambi. NIP know exactly where... Oh, sorry, Rebellion know exactly where NIP are coming from.
Rexon is so good on border, playing those corner positions. He needs help. And Nate, only 1 left.
Oh.
Another C4 shot. Nate comes out though, and most importantly, the toxic bait from Canadian was tossed out first. I mean, they can't swing off the grenade contact, so Rexon can fall on back and play safe. Fantasy and Blackbeard half health.
But Rebellion have a player upstairs. It's Spoit. He's now not in position, and you're right. They're just going deep, and 1 by 1, they're dropping. Hates and Wizard to find gaps, and with Spoit still upstairs, it leaves Surf as the only player on site. NIP have a chance to make this a 1v1 on the objective, and Spoit does not have an impact to try and make verticality. He's 1 speed operator, and he has to run all the way back now. The Valkyrie camera's been taken down. Surf has to find a way, but Spoit, he does have a secondary shotgun. He can put pressure on it. Forts Haze off, and now Pino needs to go deep, find the kill on Surf, but patience is his virtue. A 1v1 on the bomb side, but he doesn't break a sweat. It's match point for Shopify Rebellion, and NIP stare down elimination.
It's another round with the small fundamentals and clear communication wins Rebellion the round. Surf again. One
Só
of
de
the... Oh,
terceiro
actually,
que a
tag
gente
time
vai
MVP
banir
first.
smoke, tá? Agora, mano, eles não estão jogando, tirando no show ali, eles não estão jogando com choque, essas coisas, tá ligado? Então, no dormitório, eu quero que a gente faça a nossa ideia, tá? Se eles estiverem lá rodando verde, tá? Eu quero que a gente faça o FOD verde, beleza?
Aham.
E aí, aquilo lá, mano, se a gente não abrir a bomba, mano, não tem problema, tá ligado? Caso tenha choque, velho, não tem problema. Foca em matar o cara do coitado e já era, mano. Tá ligado? Ou aí a gente faz, tá ligado? Aí a gente plantando e comendo em cima, ou a gente só planta mesmo. E foda-se, mano. Só fica turtle e planta, tá ligado? Os caras fazem isso com nós, tá ligado? E terceiro, eu quero que a gente bane smoke. Demorou? Pra gente não atrasar depois desses outros steps, tá? Mano, comunique melhor os recursos que vocês têm pra limpar, tá ligado, guys?
Acho que tá faltando a gente
Mais
falar,
carinho,
mano, puxar
velho.
drone, tá ligado? Mano, falar, mano, drone desse aqui, pá.
Tá limpando muito mal as paradas, tá ligado, guys? Bora, guys.
Bora.
Just to finish off the point, Rebellion won a round of great fundamentals and communication. Surf playing some insane level of support cast for this entire best of 3, staying alive, knowing that he falls as will the bomb side. Meanwhile, Squad upstairs runs for his life and gets a couple of shotgun shells off to force the attackers off the plant and into the arms of Surf, who goes that final swing. You see that here in a second. They forced the angles, and then Surf again plays the timer, knowing Spoit cannot make it back to the bomb site. Great job all around. NIP, again, did not clear Rexen in the corner until they took down 2 players and injured a third. Rexen is so good at playing in those to-die spots. He always finds incredible value, and this time he was held by Canadian. When Blankbeard tossed out that first grenade, they can swing with the grenade and take him down. But right when the grenade was tossed out, as was the toxic bait from Troy, stopping that same push. Again, these small things.
In the 5v5s, NIP look alright, but as it wheels down into those 2v2s, Rebellion are so patient.
I also just think when NIP they get an uncontested opening pick, like the 5v4, that's when they look their absolute best, which isn't really a big surprise. A lot of teams look good in those, you know, strong positions. But when they go from the 5v5 into the execute, and it's like 4v4, 2v3, 2v2, like you said, that is definitely where they lose the vast majority of the time. They need those uncontested picks. But when you can't kill Rexen, who's the first one in the line, who are you gonna kill instead, right? Like, he's so hard to catch, this guy.
I have a translation of the tactical timeout. Look, apologies if this is not perfectly clean, but Maria says, NIP said, I want to bang smoke. They are not playing with electrocute operators. In dormitories, we're going to do exactly what we planned. If we don't open the bomb site, it's no problem. Stay in turtle position, which I assume is a call out on the map, and plant. Communicate better, play the game with more passion, and clear the positions right this time. That will be the focus for NIP in this split bomb site attack.
This C4 is proving very difficult to clear, but I think they got a job done there with the Selma charge on the floor. Good use of hard destruction. But well, as we always say, we want to bring a second one, right? So Thermite and Ace, they double down to make sure they can get the job done. Want to take top 4 first. Troy, this corner is kind of tricky now. Sprints away, stays alive. A Sport, actually. I thought it was Troy for a second because it's G11, but it's a Solus.
Troy is still upstairs, though, holding his position. 4 out of the 5 defenders hold on to this top floor, and Spoit in the late round will have the Solus to find any potential planter. Even with 2 sets of smokes. Nice. Oh my god! Rexen is set alight with 3 grenades, but somehow he lives to fight another day. The Candela makes its way through, and he shoots that as well. Rexen, he plays it better than anyone else when he's put onto the pump, but finally, the eruption from NIP as they storm the building. Finally take down that mirror position. Job not done yet. As Rebellion hold on to the top floor, they slowly peel back, but Surf, he gets the last laugh with a C4, holding on with the water, and he can peer through the smoke. But a gap's been found by Hates on the Canadian. The smoke is dead, and the late round plant denial will need to be from the guns alone. Surf, though, he's been so valuable on this mirror position. He fragged like crazy on border, but they lost the map. Now he looks to frag out on Lair, under the pump again, but the SMG-12 will find another. Into the 2v2 as NIP have 15 seconds to execute.
Job done, but not just yet. Ambi, 1v2, no C4, but 10 seconds left. They're storming the bomb site, down the stairs and down the hatch.
Spoit could not afford to lose his life and put Ambi into a clutch.
Landing.
But it's up to the birthday boy to prove that he's still got it. Pino forcing the plant down, a lot of damage on the Hades. Oh! And Ambi's clutched it! The gauntlet run begins for the man who has won it all. A third hammer is calling. Shopify Rebellion knock the ninjas in pajamas from Paris.
A clean, well executed 1v2 clutch for the man, Ambi, and it's his birthday. What a way to end the series. Honestly though, again, serve, serve, and serve. And when it's not serve, it's Rexen getting incredible amounts of value, tanking 3 grenades, 3 Ying Candelas, staying alive, dealing half health of damage to the Blind Beard and the Ying before he goes down. The Death's gonna want to break that down after a quick break.